Okay, so if everybody's amenable to it, we'll go ahead and begin the first session of A Crown of Brambles.
Let's go.
Woohoo!
So I want to make sure everybody has, potentially drinks or food, snacks, stuff of that nature, because we are about to get into a little bit of an exposition dump. I encourage note taking, as always. So feel free to write down any of this stuff or ask me questions afterwards if you didn't manage to catch something. I will go
Where's
over
mine?
this again if need be, or I can even just send this to you. So don't worry if you're not catching it immediately. I am not going to be like, you didn't write it fast enough.
That would be me.
Gotcha.
I was the slow note taker.
It's all right. I am also a very slow note taker.
Before we actually start, can you make
Yes.
maybe normal size
What do you mean by that?
on the
You are
board?
normal size.
I'm small on the board.
Oh, you're small on the board.
Oh, you're
That's what you mean by
little.
that.
You left
Okay.
me small from last time.
All right, there we go. You're normal size.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
You want
Uh,
suppies?
I am uppies.
I am up. Oh my god. Okay. 150 years ago, Serendipitous was discovered by mortal kind. In the age of discovery, 150 years is a very long time. But in the age of Ashela, it is an indicator of stories in their infancy, of histories not yet written, and of dangers not yet encountered. Serendipitous is synonymous with freedom, opportunity, and wildly unpredictable danger. First to the fray were, predictably, the warring nations of Karanak, seeing new lands to forge their path to victory unfettered by their foes. Arlen Way, seizing the desert peninsula to the northeast, founded Tolomaru, a magic sanctuary that extracts tithes from travelers by way of gold or energy to protect itself from invaders. To the west, Mordu Rem and Mordun, the twin cities built across the water, were the stations by which Karuk Makar laid claim to these lands. Zilium, vulnerable in the south, founded Shotten, out of reach of the other nations. And finally, the Dramalian Empire. Ever vivacious in its acts of conquering, they founded Drunst, considered by many to be the most magnificent city-fortress of the modern age. Del, Quell, Vernst, and Dippenfonsk, as silly of a name as it is, were all also founded by the Dramalian Empire in an attempt to keep supply chains moving and their military activity on an upward swing. Over time, independent political actors and refugee colonists from the Tabaton continent reached Serendipitous. The Tabaton colonists founded Piltop and Etterlin, while independent actors separated from their countries of origins founded Philly, Henst, Zolom, Norvinsk, and Swarville. While they are two uniquely distinct entities with their own rules and laws, the Tabaton colonists and the independents are considered allies, not here to stake claim to this land or to conquer it, but merely to survive, separated from the untamed destruction that the wars of Karanak can bring. Each town and city has its own representation in their own political climate, and no two places have the same needs that must be met. Nobody knows the needs of their city or town better than the ones who run it. 50 years ago, the intergovernmental agency known as the Road Wardens was founded at what is now known as the Council of Nations, including all players in Karanak and each independent city. This was the first time that all founded cities of Serendipitous had appropriate representation in a political climate, and it was considered a momentous occasion for all independent and refugee colonies. While the established countries from Karanak could defend themselves handily from monstrosities by way of their magics and military, the independents and Tabatons were vulnerable, defenseless, and without any representation of strength. While the Road Wardens are truly devoid of allegiance, they do answer to the Council of Nations, which permits them entry into all cities and towns in Serendipitous. No walls will bar your passage, lest the will of the council be forfeit. 10 years ago, the nation of Zillium finally succeeded in performing the first movement of playing pieces on the board of Erendipidus. They captured the city of Mordun from the Makarians, wresting their place on the western edge of the southernmost continent. Tensions have risen in the Balanov Strait since that point, and it is considered potentially unsafe even for road wardens. We begin now in the snow-blighted hamlet of Henst, the northernmost and coldest town in all of Erendipidus. A feathered individual saunters from the warmth of a tavern and into the chill of the northern air. They are familiar with this climate. It feels like home. Haru, could you please describe what your character looks like?
I am about 5 feet tall, and I have leather armor and a hood.
Hell yeah. Do you have any weapons or anything of that nature on your person that are like visible, or do you perhaps have it draped under a cloak?
I have 2 daggers underneath my cloak.
Okay, cool. So you step out of the tavern in Henst, which I will fully confess to you, this is such a small town that individual locations oftentimes do not have specific names. This is simply the tavern in Henst because there is only one. It is an inn as well, so perhaps you've already purchased a room for the night, intending to potentially stay here for more than just a day. And it is now encroaching upon the time that you're going to be meeting your associate from your organization. Not to, I don't want to say too much and let the other players in on exactly what's going on, but you, it's maybe about 10 minutes till, so around about the time that it takes for you to walk to their house will be that amount of time. They're not too far away from this is a small town anyways, so walking to and from, it takes you maybe 10 minutes to cross the entire town.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
How much time do I have? I'm sorry.
You have about 10 minutes.
I'm obviously gonna start going.
Okay, cool. I am genuinely trying to find the name that I gave to the dude that you're going to meet, and I cannot fucking find it for some reason.
Did you give it to me earlier?
I may have. I don't know. I swear to God I did. Here, maybe I have it written in the beginning blurbs here. Harvey is going to meet Tiravel. That's right. He's an older elven man. Elves are known to be very long-lived. Tiravel has lived for a really fucking long time, to the point where even he has lost count of the number of years. So he was absolutely like born well before Erendipidus was discovered. Erendipidus was discovered. He moved here maybe like 10 years after its discovery, and he has been here ever since. So he is very well versed in the local ecology and stuff of that nature, and he has potentially uncovered something which could prove either to be useful or dangerous for your order, or something that your order needs to handle. The missive you received was incredibly vague, alluding to something very serious that couldn't be discussed except in person.
Okay.
So you make your way to his home, I assume?
Yes.
Cool. It's not actively snowing, but it was earlier when you arrived. You were in fact having the ship that you arrived on had to break through some of the ice in order to actually show up. Like the ships are clearly designed to handle these winter climates. So you're sort of trudging through some of the snow in order to get to this place. It's rather deep. So you hear the crunching of the snow beneath your boots as you walk to his home, and you see it is, most of the homes here are relatively like bare bones. They're made of wood with some straw for insulation, and they've got some straw sort of like rooftops. There's even a couple of tents for people who have kind of been waylaid here and haven't really had an opportunity to leave because of how dense the snowfall is in these winter months. But you make your way to his home, and he has, similar to the rest, a more squalid hamlet than you've seen elsewhere. But it is maybe about 2-bedroom, that kind of deal. I'm assuming you sort of like approach the door and knock. He wanted to be secretive, but not so secretive that you couldn't just come to his home. So you
Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna knock on the door.
Okay. You give it a couple of knocks, and you wait for a moment, and then another moment, and you sort of like peer in through the window that is next to the door. You see that the curtains are drawn, so you can't quite see past. But you see that there's a candlelight on the inside that's barely illuminating through a crack in the curtain, which makes you sort of assume that he's home, but he's not answering the door. And make a perception check. First official roll of session 1.
Let's go.
Come
Shake
on.
this bad boy.
Big money. Oh my god. Okay, 10 plus.
Throw it in his lap.
Shoot. I just closed it on accident.
That's all right. Take your time.
What's the penalty for assaulting the DM with the die?
For assault.
I know. I dropped it right in your lap. +2.
Plus 2, so 12. Okay, that's definitely enough for this, because this is you over your time of being alive, you've developed somewhat of a sixth sense for things that are not right. You don't hear him stirring on the inside of his home. Something's not right.
Oh no.
Is there anything that you would like to do?
What do I notice? Do I know? Can I hear anything?
No, you hear nothing. That's the thing that strikes you as strange, is that normally if you were to knock on the door, you waited a little bit, maybe knocked again. Like if he was asleep, he would have potentially stirred. You'd hear the rustling of cloth and stuff of that nature, and then you would hear footsteps. You hear, it is dead quiet. The only thing you can hear is the wind of the snow outside. Like you cannot hear anything else.
Okay.
And that's the thing that strikes you as strange. There's a couple of potential points of entry into the home if you wanted to try and like break your way in to see if everything's okay. But
Are there any windows? I don't know this guy. I don't want to just break into his house.
No, for sure. There was a window next to the door that you saw the sort of candle light shining through, but the curtains are drawn, so you can't see anything actually inside the home. You just know that lights are on inside. You can try and circle the home to see if there's any other windows.
Is the window locked?
If you want to go ahead and just like give it a jimmy to see if it is.
I would like to jimmy.
Yeah, so you sort of like try and rustle the window open. It's clearly locked from the inside.
Okay.
You could try to potentially use thieves' tools to like flip open the lock from the outside, like do the sort of like slide a card in, sort of move it. It's a double paned window that sort of like opens.
I mean, can I try? Is the door that I knocked on, is that locked?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I think I'm gonna circle. I'd probably circle the house and look at the other points of entry.
Absolutely. So as you're circling around, you on the main pathway, there's not as much snow. You were still crunching through it, but as you're like getting off of the main pathway, the snow comes up to like your waist. It is deep snow, and so you start crunching through and sort of trudging through, begrudgingly getting maybe your trousers soaked in some snow. It's not a pleasant experience. It is freezing. You're used to it, but you still know that this isn't a pleasant experience. You circle around the right side of the home, and then you come to the back side of the home, and the first thing that you notice, I will go ahead and carry over your 12 perception check to here as well. You notice that there is a path in the snow leading to an alleyway where there is sort of like, it leads onto the main road, and you see that the window is open in the back of the home.
Okay, I'm gonna take a look in the window first.
The first thing that you see is the collapsed, face-down form of Tiravel with a dagger in his back.
I would like to jump in the window and check vitals.
You jump in, and the moment that you do kneel down and check vitals, you sort of like put your fingers against his neck. Go ahead and make a medicine check for me.
No. Should have been a cleric.
Oh god,
it's not gonna get much better. It's just 4.
It's just 4. Okay. The one thing that you would have gotten even on a natural 1 is he's dead. You
okay.
However, have no idea how long he has been dead for. Even looking up and gauging the other contextual clues in the home itself is cold. The window is open. It's hard to tell how long the window has been open for. There's still a candle lit, so it couldn't have been too long ago. It looks like the candle's about half burnt.
Okay.
You kind of like you examine the dagger. Do you want to pull the dagger out, or do you want to try and roll the body over, or anything of that nature? You see, there's a pool of blood that has formed underneath.
And I
him.
came to get verbal information from him, right?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, can I inspect the dagger?
Yeah, absolutely. It has a interesting hilt. It is genuinely, it's quite identifiable. You like upon first look, it's not bejeweled in any way, but it has a very ornate wooden handle where there are carvings for like your fingers to rest, and there's not a hilt or not a pommel in the way of a sword, but sort of like a part of the wood that juts out into almost what looks like the serpent head in the back. It's a beautiful dagger, but it is fully like hilt deep into his back. You would need to pull the dagger out in order to see the blade.
I'm gonna leave the dagger in.
Okay.
But I would like to make a mental note of the hilt.
Okay, absolutely, yeah. You sort of like catalog that in your memory bank. Definitely write down a note, and then I want you to go ahead and make an investigation check for me while you're in the home. As you're kneeling over his body, examining the corpse. Oh, beautiful. What's the bonus that you have?
+1, so 20.
+1, soft 20. Beautiful. That's a fantastic roll. That's more than what you needed. You see, as you're examining the body, you actually notice the room itself. It doesn't look like there were. There are very faint signs of struggle. There is a chair that is overturned, and you notice that there is a ink pot and quill that is overturned on the desk. The ink has spilled out onto the desk, and the quill looks like it may have been being used recently. And making a mental note of that, you look at Tiravel's body and see that his right hand is beneath his chest and stomach, where his left hand is splayed out on the ground. You have a sneaking suspicion he might be holding something.
Okay, I would like to roll him over. Sorry, I'm trying to get rid of these die.
It's here. There you go.
I'd like to roll him over and take a look.
Yeah. So you
Or I
push.
should probably take the dagger out first, huh?
If you want to, you absolutely can.
Yeah,
You
let's
can
do
roll him
that.
over onto his side. Yeah, you slip the dagger out from his backside, and the first thing that you recognize is this is a wavy, serrated dagger. It takes a
Like
minute.
this?
It's kind of, yeah, very, very similar. It's serrated like a steak knife.
Oh, okay.
This is a knife that is not just intended to kill its target. It is intended to kill its target, and upon removal, inflict as much damage and pain as possible.
Right.
So you actually have to like tug to pull the dagger out. You are sort of like, you have an inkling to examine Tiravel for potentially other knife wounds, but you actually just see the one. You can, if you want, keep the dagger, but I will say it is a murder weapon.
I'm not gonna keep it, but I'm gonna place it next to him.
Okay.
And make
and
a
when-
full note of the details of the dagger.
Yeah, this is a very identifiable blade. You can absolutely tell if you were to see this blade or anything similar to it again, you would be able to tell.
Okay.
And when you roll him over, you see him clutching to his chest what looks like he has his right hand is balled into a fist, and it takes a minute for you to kind of like unfurl his fingers. First off, this looks like a gentle old man. There's maybe a pang of sadness for the fact that this guy has been killed, and you are the first person to discover it.
Right.
But the second thing that you see is, with the sort of inkling that he may have been writing something with his ink and quill, you uncurl his fingers in his right hand and pull out a wad of paper. When you unravel the wad of paper, you see that it says, "The threat is inside."
Oh,
Doesn't look like he got to finish the sentence.
right.
This is an unfinished sentence. It's like, the threat is inside blank.
Okay.
So you can, if you want, go ahead and pocket that note for later, or just make a mental note of what he wrote. Um,
I'm
but
gonna
what-
pocket it.
Okay. It is around this point in time where you start to hear that there is a commotion outside. You do not know for what this commotion is, but I will let Harvey try to
is it-
put the pieces together as to whether or not this is relating to the body.
Okay. Is the commotion towards the front of the house or the door that I came in the back?
It's towards the front of the house, not the window you came in the back. It's towards the front of the house.
Okay. I'm gonna slip out the back and just peek around the corner.
Okay. You peek around the corner, and you actually see it's coming from the sort of like the front, the town square. You are now hearing a sort of like very loud, like there is something banging against the gate of the town, and it's at this point with this that as you're seeing this happen, we're going to cut to Moggs and Lumia around the same point in time that you go to Tiravel's home. Moggs and Lumia, you two arrived in town no more than I would say perhaps 15 to 30 minutes ago. What would you say you may have done or be doing in that time? Where would you say that you are right now?
I know we have. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I probably would have headed immediately in search of an inn because we've been traveling for days. We've been sleeping outside on the ground. I'm cold. I'm dirty. I'd like to bathe and eat.
Yeah, absolutely. So, first off, we're absolutely going to get to describing your characters in just a moment. I don't want to rob that from you. But there is something of note about this place that Lumia is keenly aware of. Towns in Karanak are anywhere from like 500 to 1,000 people. Towns in Serendipitous, you're lucky if they breach 300 people. They are very rural places that are out in the boonies that you would be hard pressed to find luxury accommodations, but you're aware of this. And so in searching for a tavern, you find the one inn and tavern that is in this place. They have several rooms for rent, and presumably you and Moggs would be able to walk in and slide coin over the table for a decent meal and to be able to stay in an inn. I will go ahead and say that you walk in around the same time that Harvey is leaving, so you two cross paths. It's at this point I'd like for, you know what, I'll go ahead and roll a d20. If it is evens, we'll say Moggs will describe their character first. If it is odds, we'll say Lumia describes. It is even. Moggs, could you describe your character for us?
Yes. So Mox is a teeny tiny little kobold, about 2'4" or so. Blue skin with slightly darker and slightly metallic blue scales. She's wearing a set of scale armor, which is largely kind of like a darkish metal, and then has some orange accents, and has a clutched together approximation of a wrench that she has hastily made out of bits and pieces, which no one in their right mind would use if they were an actual artisan.
Yeah, I'd say that you're perhaps not familiar enough with that type of artisanal craft, Haru, to recognize that immediately. But it does strike you as strange that you are seeing what, in your experience, would amount to a potential artificer in Serendipitous. Serendipitous is not a place for like technological innovation or advancement of that kind of stuff. So seeing someone with a wrench is absolutely atypical. Lumia, could you describe your character for us as well?
Yes, I am about 5'9", with lilac skin, silver eyes, a constellation of freckles, and flowing prismatic hair that appears as if lit by a halo. I am wearing engraved heavy armor in tones of gold and silver, with a finely made cape and dusky shades, and I am carrying a warhammer on my back.
Hell yeah. Okay. Are there any other descriptions that either of you would like to give to us?
No.
Cool. What countenance, what sort of like mood would you say that the two of you are walking into this tavern with? I would assume Lumia is probably like tired, dirty, wants to sleep and bathe. But how? I don't want to take that interpretation away from you. How are you guys feeling as you're walking into this tavern?
I am feeling relieved.
You're actually indoors for the first time in like 2 weeks. Yeah, it's probably been like a week and a half since you were at the way station that you passed by. Oh God, what did we call it? It was the Crook's Caper Hideaway between Zalam and Hence, just before the river. That place was nice. It was genuinely very pleasant. You had an opportunity for a bath, but it's been about like a week plus since then. So you are like, your your hair probably does not look as clean as you would like it to. And Muggs, how are you feeling as you strut into this tavern for the first time?
Moggs is as frustratingly as ever, fairly energetic. Following close behind Lumia, or Boss as she calls her. Kind of taking in all the sights, just looking at everything, because she's never been to a town before. I did have a question. Does ritual casting require you to stand still? Can you do it while you're walking?
You cannot ritual cast while you are walking. You must be still, but you can be on a moving thing. So if you are on a cart or if you're on a boat or something of that nature, you can ritual cast, but you effectively have to crisscross applesauce.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, she's just kind of gawking at everything and everyone, drinking in everything with her eyes.
You see what you probably have never seen before, a bird person walk past you as you're walking into the tavern. They don't pay you any mind, and they immediately sort of like abscond into the snow. But you do see them pass by you as the two of you are walking into the tavern.
I think Boggs probably like taps Lumia on the leg and was like, "I didn't know those could be people."
That's rude. Horribly rude.
You see the tavern keep is this sort of middle-aged, male pattern baldness, maybe like a 5 o'clock shadow on his face. Relatively portly man, like a human man. He's washing a mug as of now. It looks like it's not like rush hour because this is a small little hamlet town, so there's never really going to be a rush hour. There's enough people keeping him busy that he sort of just has a moment to nod to the two of you and sort of be like, "I'll be right over. Give me just a moment, please." And he sort of like rushes over to another guy, pours out a stout of ale, tosses it over. "Feel free to pick yourselves a seat." You see there's several tables that are fully empty. Maybe they have like a mug or a plate or something from patrons previously that he hasn't had an opportunity to get to. What would the two of you like to do?
I think you want to have a seat, Mox? You want to have a drink before we try to get a room and freshen up, celebrate making it into the town?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, let's get something to drink.
The two of you find yourselves over to a smaller sort of circular table. There's about 3 chairs that are around it. You take 2 of them and presumably have a moment in time to where you can rest your armaments upon one just in case. You see that the man sort of like walks over to you. He's wiping his hands on what looks like a relatively dirty apron at this point in the day. It's not like early in the day, but it's not late either. He's had time to get it dirty. He walks up to the two of you, takes out what looks like a piece of parchment, and goes like, "All right, so first things first, what would you like to drink? Anything? Water, ale? I could get you some rum as well. We just got a shipment in today."
We get to pick?
Well, yes, you are we're presumably paying customers at this establishment. It would be remiss for me to not allow you to choose your poison.
Wait, Moggs, do you have money?
He hears that and kind of squints and looks to you, Lumia, and be like, Do you have money? You are allowed to stay. This is a small place. I don't really mind if you stay here, just sitting, but would you like me to get you water? That's free.
let's start with water.
Let's go ahead and start with water. If there is anything that you are smelling that sort of rumbles your stomach, let me know. Would either of you like to get a room for the evening as well? We do have the inn upstairs.
Wait, why don't we just reduce the cost out of the taxes?
Oh God, the taxes.
This guy is looking at the two of you like you guys are aliens. He is like, what the fuck are you talking about? He hears taxes, sort of like raises his eyebrows. He heard Lumia say, "Do you have any money?" He squints. He's just like his eyebrows are like wiggling during the like spectating this. He sort of like silently, without announcing it, steps away from you two and goes to get water. He returns with two. He does. They're the same mugs that they serve the ale in. They're filled with what looks to be very crystal clear water. Sort of slides them both over to the two of you, and he goes like, "Well, just in case, I don't know if you heard my question earlier. Would you like to get a room and board tonight? We've only got a couple rooms left."
Yes.
All right. Will that be one room for the two of you, or will that be two rooms, one for each of you?
That depends. How much do rooms cost?
That
One
will
room.
run you one room. All right. That will run you about 4 copper per night. And just so that way everybody is aware, the conversion rate from copper to silver to gold to platinum is 10 to go up. So 10 copper is 1 silver, 10 silver is 1 gold, 10 gold is 1 platinum. We are not going to use Electrum. You'll see EP on like a standard character sheet. Electrum is stupid. Ignore it. It doesn't exist. So he says 4 copper per night, which equates to you to effectively being like 4 cents. Is what is really like the TLDR conversion. It's very inexpensive.
Hey, one room it is.
Understood. He sort of writes something down on the parchment, and then he looks up at the two of you and he goes, "The special for the evening, and truthfully, the only thing that we really have is lamb stew with potatoes as a side. Would you like me to go ahead and rustle you two up a bowl of each? It will be 2 copper per person."
Yes, please.
Understood.
Never had that before.
Scribbles that down, sort of like has a bit of a smile when Mog says they've never had it before, and sort of like points at you with his quill and goes like, "You're going to enjoy it, believe you me." And then he goes over the back to wrestle some stuff up. When he returns, he gives you 2 your bowls of stew. He also gives you Lumia. He gives you a key. He does kind of like assume handing it to you. And accepts presumably the 8 copper pieces that you provide. Go ahead and mark it down on your gold. If you want to split it 4 and 4, or if you want Lumia to pay 8 or Marks to pay 8, it's entirely up to you. But he sort of takes the copper pieces, makes a note of it, goes back behind the bar, and leaves you guys to enjoy your meal alone, giving you the first opportunity to really, like, talk under a roof.
I don't understand why did we pay them?
Because here, things cost money, Moggs. We can't just take them.
But you said we'd take the taxes.
Forget about the taxes. The taxes were a joke. Do you know what a joke is, Moggs?
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah. I love jokes.
You don't know what jokes are. That's okay. That's okay. We'll get there. Another thing we should probably work on is personal space.
As you say this, I presume that Moggs has scooched their chair as close to yours as humanly possible.
Yep. Sitting just right next to. What about
shoulder to shoulder?
You see, Moggs, people like to have air and opportunity to move and something called privacy on occasion. Don't you ever like to just be alone sometimes?
No.
Oh,
No, never.
I can tell. That's okay. We'll work on that as well. One room is fine for tonight, but eventually you're gonna have to sleep in your own room.
No.
As you're having
No,
this
I don't see that
conversation,
happening.
You take a sip of the water. It is crystal clear, delicious. Truly a thing that you haven't had in a while, because the water in your water skins tends to take on this sort of like strange tannin-y, sort of bitter flavor as a consequence of the leather. And the stew is a mix of this wonderfully savory, filling, and slightly spicy sort of like lamb meat and potatoes and wild greens and sort of root vegetables. It is truly it is like a very, very hearty filling meal. It is, or at least it would be, if you two didn't start hearing the banging on the gate similar to Harvey. You start hearing very, very close to the two of you. This banging against the gate of the city, of the town. And you start hearing sort of like shouting from the outside that neither of you can truly make out fully, but you hear the rustling of chainmail and armor, the sort of like drawing of swords, weapons being readied.
Is this a normal town thing, boss?
I don't think so, Moggs.
I'd like the two of you to make your choice of survival or perception checks. It will change what you learn.
I will do a survival.
Okay. Lumia, would you like to do a perception or a survival?
I will do perception just for the thrill of it. I have no proficiency in that.
All right, go ahead. Throw that die down. Let's see how it goes.
18 survival.
18? Beautiful. Okay. Hell yeah.
Throw it. I shake it up. Ugh.
18? Okay. So you're going to get both pieces of information. I will share this with both of you. You both learn it. Moggs, on your 18 survival check, the first thing that you kind of think to yourself is you're like, is this a normal town thing? And Lumia goes, no, it's not. You have on occasion been attacked by monsters before. You know that Erendipidus isn't a safe place, and you sort of hear Lumia say, no, this isn't a normal town thing. That's totally a lie. This is definitely a normal town thing. Your party, your crew had to deal with this all the time. The gates of your place were always getting knocked down by monsters, and so you think to yourself like, of course it's normal. What are you talking about? And Lumia, you can actually make out the specifics of what the guards are saying. You can hear them say, like, put down the board, make sure that it can't get in, get the crossbowmen up on the walls, and then you can hear snarling on the outside of the wall as you hear another and you can start hearing the splintering of wood.
Moggs is just continuing to stand on her chair, devouring her stew.
I am absolutely alarmed and looking around the inn to see if anyone else is panicking.
There are many people who are actually getting up. You see some of them are scarfing down their food as fast as they can. You see there's a couple of guards actually that are scarfing down their food that sort of look up to the two of you, see that you two have weapons, and kind of like give a nudge to you and go like, are you road wardens? Could you help us?
What is a road warden?
Neither of you have heard the term road warden before, so you're not sure. He kind of like froze his brow and goes like, if you have a weapon and you're able-bodied, I suggest that you come out to help us. There will be a reward, I promise you that. He draws his sword and walks out the door.
Boss, I said reward.
Well, let's at least go check it out. I pick up my weapon, I pick up Moggs, and we go outside.
Carry them like a fucking cat. A cat under your arm. Yeah, okay, and we'll go ahead and real quick cut back to Harvey.
While I'm being moved over there, I'll cast Magic Pebble on some of in my pouch.
Okay, yeah. We'll say, so I'm gonna make this easy and say that you have what is effectively a bag of ball bearings. They do not have to be metal ball bearings. They can just be a bunch of pebbles that you've picked up. As far as I'm aware, a bag of ball bearings has like 1,000 fucking ball bearings in them, so you're not gonna run out anytime soon.
Yeah, so she's just got that good to go when things start.
Cool. Harvey, you hear the sound of the gate being pushed in and splintering, and you understand that whatever is on the other side of that wall, whatever's on the other side of that gate trying to breach the inside, the guards here are not going to be able to handle it on their own. You are experienced enough to actually be able to tell what is on the other side of that wall. As far as you are aware, the thing that is on the other side of that wall is a very dangerous creature.
Okay.
You're not 100% sure, of course. You won't know unless you see it. You can hear the snarling and the sort of like the call of the creature is somewhat identifiable. I don't know how to make the creature's call without my mic cutting out, so give me a sec as I like change my
Hell yeah.
noise suppression to none so I can actually do it. I'm sorry if this like clips anyone's mic or anything like that. It's this almost sounds like a raptor in a way. I mean, it's not a raptor, but the way that it sounds is almost this like one of those sorts of. It's a terrifying.
Okay. Okay.
From the outside of this gate, what do you do? Do you want to move in to assist the town guard, potentially try to fight back this monster before you return to the scene of figure it out?
Is the monster like the tavern where I'm staying? Or the inn, is that? Oh, that's like 10 minutes away, isn't it?
I said that it was like 10 minutes away. We'll just say that you're close enough to be able to sprint up to the town entrance before the monster breaks in.
Okay. I'd like to try to retrieve my bow.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We'll just say that you had it on. Just for safety,
okay.
Just for safety's sake. Any of your equipment that you have in your inventory, you're going to have on your person.
Okay, cool.
One thing I will note, just so that way everybody is aware, the tavern is close enough to the entranceway to be destroyed by the monster if you're not careful. So you sort of like recognize that, Harvey, and are sort of like, that's the only place I can stay tonight without staying in the snow or trying to find like a place to sleep in the snow.
Right.
You have a vested interest in wanting to make sure the tavern doesn't get blown to pieces.
Sure. I mean, I'm gonna probably run to the entrance of the town.
Okay. So as the three of you are kind of converging on the entrance to the town, Lumia and Moggs have just enough time to get outside the tavern and then sort of dash down the passageways in the town to get to the entrance. And Harvey, you also get to the entrance just in time. The three of you kind of lock eyes. You see each other across the way. As the gate explodes inwards, splinters are cast out on the cobblestone pathway that leads through the town. And there is a very large man that tumbles into the town square. It's hard to actually see any like detail or features on him because he is spinning as he sort of like slides onto the cobblestone pathway. But as he comes to rest and stands up, almost stretching, cracking his shoulder, his neck, his knuckles, maybe with a smile on his face, would you please describe Caius for us, Bear?
God damn it.
Caius stands at like 6'6", and he has a dark burnt orange skin tone, like a very burnt orange, and his hair is almost like fire that goes down his back. It's like it's hair, but it's not actually like fire or nothing. And he has a very solid like toned build, and of course like he has like fur cloak on his back, like just you can tell like it's almost like a tribal almost outfit. Where like
it's very striking to everyone.
Yes, and then he has like tiger stripe tattoos down his arm.
Hell fucking yes. You see this man get blown through the gate of the entranceway, stand to his feet, and immediately after him a creature gallops inside. The creature that barrels through the town's entrance is this white and gray furred sort of like quadrupedal creature with this hunched back. It's got gigantic floppy ears and huge, very muscular back legs. It's hard to tell that it's muscle from underneath the fur, but while it appears at first to be propping itself up with its front two legs in order to be able to leap forwards, you recognize a moment later that it's actually its ears that are articulated in such a way that they act like their own separate appendages, serving as the creature's front two limbs and allowing its smaller front legs and claws to move freely. Following behind this gigantic creature are these small white and blue raptor-like creatures with silver feathers like a crown and mane lining their necks, parts of their faces, as well as around their wrists and ankles of their triple-jointed limbs. You see that they have very sharp talons. The former of these creatures, only Harvey is familiar with, and technically Caius, because Caius has been fighting it for a little bit. It is known as a Lasheri. It is an omnivorous creature that is often docile and skittish. So, Harvey, the first thing before combat even happens that you recognize is, this is weird. It breaking down the gate is weird. The latter of these, the other creatures, however, all but I would assume Caius would probably be familiar with, as you have either seen them or read about them or encountered them at some point on your travels. They're very common in Erendipitous, and they frequent places where they expect to be able to scavenge the remains of other creatures. They're called Skivarti. In this case, this variation are known as Silver Skivarti. And it is at this point, the first thing I'm going to ask for everybody to do before I pull up the battle map is roll initiative. That is going to be whatever your dexterity modifier is, roll a d20 and add your dex to it. And I'm going to get the battle map set up. All right, so funny thing about Moggs' mini, one of the other things that I did not anticipate is because Moggs is rotated 180 degrees, I'm just going to go ahead and show you on the initiative tracker. You are facing backwards.
Facing the wrong way.
Honestly,
okay.
that's canon.
Canon.
Yeah, it just makes sense.
Something
okay.
else has Mog's attention.
So the first thing that happens is you watch as these four Skivarti start to sprint into the town, immediately following the Lasheri. The Lasheri looks like they are on some type of a rampage. Caius, as you were like marching through the snow-stricken fields outside of Henst, you did see this monster barreling towards the city. It was not you that riled this monster up, but looking at the way that the guards are kind of narrowing their eyes at you as they're hoisting their crossbows gives you the impression that some of these guards might think you did this. So that might be something that you'll have to sort out in the future, but for now, it is time for the civilians to see this shit and run. So we're going to go ahead and say, I'm going to start from where Harvey's at. So you see this guy sort of like, 5, 10, 15, that's his movement.
They can really ask if Caius cares later.
5, 10, 15. This guy's going to move 5, 10, and that is unironically as far as he can move. This one's going to move 5, 10. This one's going to move 5, 10. These guys are going. This guy, you see that there's like a shopkeep and his shopkeep's assistant, a halfling man. But the human man, fully bald on top, goes like,
Oh, let's get inside. I think it's better if we just hole up in here.
He opens the door and you see these people go inside their home or inside their shop and close the doors. So that is all of the civilians' turns. Caius, it is your turn.
Right. Okay. So you said I know that from judging from what happened outside the town, I can tell that this, what was it called?
Hold on,
the
let me pull it up.
Lasheri.
The
The Lasheri. Okay, the Lasheri wasn't the agitator here.
The Lasheri, you're not really sure. Go ahead and make an animal handling check for me. Try and figure
Gotcha.
out what the hell is going on with this Lasheri.
Where did I throw that?
Oh, fuck.
Imagine.
Oh,
As far as you are concerned, the Lasheri has every right to break into this town. You think the town did this. No, I'm fucking with you. You have no idea. Honestly, it could be that the Skivarti were agitating it. It could be that the Lasheri itself was agitated from another monster. It is an omnivore. It could be that it's just hungry. You're not sure.
Gotcha. So I can't tell whether it's scared or it's upset or is it attacking. All I know is here and shouldn't be here.
As far as you
It's-
are aware, this is something that everyone here is aware of. The Skivarti and the Lasheri will harm people if they are here.
Gotcha. Well,
All right.
So-
So, when your turn begins, you
Yes.
gain 4 things. You gain, well, technically 5 things, but we're gonna say 4 for the time being. You
Uh-huh.
gain a bonus action. You gain an action. You get your movement, and you get a reaction.
Good.
With that in mind, each of them are separate things. What would you like to do?
Well, firstly, I would like to, seeing as I was already encountering this thing out there before, and I didn't particularly care for being thrown through the fence, I'm going to go to a rage.
Okay, hell fucking yeah.
So when he goes into a rage, you can see his more animalistic forms come out, like the two like fangs on his hair that stick up on him actually turns into like almost like feline-esque ears and claws come out of his hands.
Hell yeah.
And his hair actually becomes more like wispy as fire when that happens.
In fact, that I will say your natural countenance as being of the racial heritage that you are helps you to endure the cold here. Your clothes are fucking shredded. I will say
Yes.
that. So maybe the clasps of your cloak of your cape are still fastened, but your clothes, though they are clothes of mending, they do get in the way during combat. So you kind of like toss them to the side to collect them later. And you are now full bare-chested, sort of like crack your knuckles, prepare your claws. So your rage has fully taken hold. What would
Yes.
you like to do now?
So of course, like my eyes are just right here on this big guy in front of me. I'm going to want to move up with that. So that's
5,
10,
15, 20, 25 feet will get you straight up to him.
but this first step is 10 feet, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's 5, 10, and then this will be 15.
15, 20. You said 25? Okay.
Yeah, you can either end there or there. It's up to you. Doesn't really make that much of a difference.
Gotcha. All right. And I'm gonna go ahead and try to swing on him.
Take a swing, man. First attack of the campaign.
Let's go.
Is Caius going in for blood?
Ooh.
What's your bonus?
That's a 19.
A 19. That hits. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Nice. All right. Which is okay. Got it.
So you went into your rage. You're not yet a beast barbarian, so you don't have a level 3 feature. However, we determined that if you are one-handing, if you're holding something in one hand, you have a D6. If you are not holding anything in either of your hands, you have a D8. So if you,
Gotcha.
I'm assuming you've got both hands free.
Yeah, both hands are free.
Then
Yes.
roll a D8 for me, my friend, and add your strength modifier to this.
Gotcha.
Alright.
And my strength modifier would be. Wait, why does that say? Why is my attack modifier plus? Oh, it's proficiency plus strength.
Proficiency plus strength is what you do to attack. Your damage is going to be a D8 plus your strength modifier, which I
gotcha.
assume is
So
4.
Yeah, so it's 7.
7 damage. Very, very solid first hit on this thing. It was already. Oh yeah, sorry. I was wondering.
I'm swinging.
You guys, how would you like to? You know what? I'm gonna ask this first. Would you like to flavor your attack, or would you like me to flavor your attack?
Oh, so I like full on, like after I go into a rage and the clothes come off, I full on sprint towards it. And let's see, judging how tall it's standing, like how tall am I compared to this thing actually?
So the bear itself is like, I will say, probably an appropriate representation of it standing on its hind legs. We'll say as you're charging at it, it gives you that kind of like same roar that it was giving at the front of the gate, which is like this, like this really strange kind of like, almost like it's inhaling as it's screaming. And it sort of hoists up its ear appendage things. You're not even sure they're ears at this point. You're not sure that they can be using them to hear. It just looks like appendages coming out of its head. It is full-fledged, twice as tall as you, as it's standing on its hind legs.
Gotcha. So I guess I'm just gonna go straight for its gut since it's standing on its hind legs. So I like full on sprint and just cock back and just drive a fist straight to its gut.
So like the slick ice that is currently on the cobblestone pathway allows you to kind of, you try to come to a halt, but instead of fully stopping, you're sort of like your boots slide on the ground. You use that momentum to your advantage and drive this pile driver uppercut straight into this creature's gut. your rage burning in your eyes as you immediately see that had a visible impact to the point where everyone else can see like ripples in the blubber of this creature that's designed to operate in winter conditions like this. And immediately, as it was in the moments of going like, and then it's like it sort of like has this moment where it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So that is your movement. You still have 5 feet technically. You have used your action and your bonus action. As far as I am aware, that is probably going to end your turn.
Yeah, I'm done.
Cool. A phenomenal first turn from Caius.
Very
that
nice.
Yeah, that was great. That
Oh
does
my god,
bring us
boss, that
to
man's on fire.
That brings us to the guards. The first thing that you actually see is that out of the guardhouse step what looks like 2 more normal foot soldier guards and a guy in full plate mail in the guard uniform for Henst. You see that he has a shield and a flail that he sort of like hoists from his belt. He gestures to the Lasheri that Caius is currently engaged with, and he goes like, "Help that man!" And immediately they hoist their crossbows and prepare. So these 3 are not going to move on this turn, but the 2 that were at the gates will. So this guy, who's beat to fuck already, is going to stand up. That's the first thing he's going to do. And he's going to point his crossbow at the Scavardi that is directly in front of him, and he's going to fire off a shot. So let's go ahead and see how he does. He's got +3 to hit. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, the guards are...
You hit these?
The guards are not good. Let's see. So with a +3 to hit, that will be a 12. Let me check the Scavardi. That literally meets their armor class. So you are now all aware that the Scavardi, the Raptors, have 12 armor class. So this is going to be a D8 plus 0 for their damage. 2 into Scavardi 1. Beautiful.
You know what? He's doing his best. He got knocked down, but
he is trying his best.
came back
man.
up shooting.
Got back up again.
He did get back up again.
Also, one thing I will be letting you guys know about as it becomes relevant is when a creature reaches half health or lower, I will tell you.
Okay,
Aside from that,
exactly.
you will need to make a check to learn more information about the health of a creature. But when they're at half health, they are what is known as bloodied. I occasionally will introduce special mechanics when creatures reach half health. In this fight, you don't need to worry about it, but remember it for later.
But
So
be
that's this
wary.
guy. Be wary, yeah. This guy is going to see that there is another Scavardi that is sprinting towards the civilians over there, and he's going to fire a shot off into him. That is significantly better. It's not a
Wow,
crit or
okay.
anything, but
Nice.
this is going to be another D8 damage into what looks like Scavardi 4 for 4 damage into Scavardi 4. Very, very well done.
Which one is Scavardi for?
This one.
Okay, gotcha.
So, I don't know an easy way to indicate. The
That
whole
was
map is white, and the only way I have to indicate is this little light that blends into the map.
That was a perfect indication.
The one doing sick tricks by the tent.
One who's fucking doing an ollie. Okay, so that's gonna end the guard's turn. That is the only 2 guards that were able to act have already acted. It is now the Scavardi's turn. This Scavardi here, I'm going to do all their movement first before I do anything else. This Scavardi sees that a guard has lodged a crossbow bolt in his arm and is going to immediately pounce on him. Let me go ahead and take a look to see here. Yeah, so you watch this thing fully leap through the air and try to pin this guy to the ground. Then you watch as these Scavardi here are going to go ahead and move. They're going to use a trait they have called Aggressive as a bonus action on their turn. They can move up to their speed towards hostile creatures that they can see. They are considering literally every creature here that is not themselves hostile. So they are going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 towards Caius. This one's going to do the same thing. 5, 10, 15, 25, 30. I will also let you guys know that the Scavardi and the Lasheri both have a special trait that allows them to ignore difficult terrain of ice or snow.
Yeah, figure that.
Of course.
They are
They live out there.
they're biologically designed to live here. It wouldn't make sense if it impeded their movement. So we'll go ahead and say this Scavardi is going to clock the fact that there are civilians over here, and he's going to go ahead and start moving that way. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And this one has already clocked the civilians and is going to go ahead and start moving 5, 10, 15, 20.
Oh boy.
This one is going to move up to you here, Caius. It is not intelligent enough to attempt to flank you, so it is just going to go ahead and end there. That is going to be all of the creatures' movements. Now they're going to go ahead and do their attacks. So we'll start with the guard over here. Fingers crossed this guy survives. Because he's hurt.
He's gonna be fine.
He's gonna be fine.
He's a trooper. He's a
He's
fighter.
a trooper. Come on, baby. All right, well, that's going to hit.
Oh.
Down.
So I'll go ahead and roll the damage. Okay, he is still standing. He is alive.
Let's go. He's a
Let me,
trooper.
like, label these guys. We'll go guard 1 is going to be the guy that just got hit.
He's only 3 days from retirement, so he better watch his back.
He's got to make sure he lives. And then this guy's going to be guard 3. And then this guy's going to be guard 4. The guard captain is the human knight, so I'm not going to worry about that. So let me list 1. He's already a little injured. Thank you guys for your patience and waiting for me to like.
You're
scroll stuff
good,
down.
dude.
More time to think about what I'm gonna do.
Okay, one thing that I will let you guys know about, guard 1 was already close to bloodied. He is now actually bloodied. He is below half health. With only 2 damage, he's below half health. So that is definitely a potential concern. I'm gonna go ahead and roll the Scavardi that is adjacent to you, Caius.
Mhm.
What is your armor class?
It is a. Hang on.
I gotcha.
It is a 15.
15. You rolled an 18 to hit. So that is going to beat your armor class. You are raging, so you are resistant to this damage, which means you will take half of the damage rounded down. Actually, hold on. Andy, 5e, do you round up or down?
Hang on. I think I have.
Round
Let's
down,
see.
okay.
Okay.
So you round up. So it's going to do a d4 damage to you. 4 rounded down to 2. So you do 2 damage.
Gotcha. I'm minusing 2. I'm at 12.
12. The most durable party member by a fucking long shot. Let me make sure I'm getting this right here. I am a fool, and for whatever reason didn't put the Lasheri on the initiative order. Technically, the Lasheri were supposed to go before the Scavardi were. It's not going to matter that much. I'm just going to put the Lasheri after the Scavardi.
That's fine.
Now we come to the most dangerous of the Scavardi, the guy who's about to attack the dwarf with a mug of ale. Let's see
Poor guy.
how he does.
He's gonna miss.
He came here to have a good time, and honestly, he's
So-
feeling so attacked right now.
Remember that the civilians have an armor class of 10, and you are probably aware this when the Scavardi have a bonus of +4, so a 6 or higher on this d20 will hit this guy. That is an 8, so that is going to hit him.
Oh,
Let's see how much damage he takes.
He's gonna be fine.
1.
He's
He
fine.
takes 1 damage.
Woohoo!
He's actually fine. I say he's actually fine. This big gash is like clawed into the back of the civilian. He is not a fighter. He does not have a weapon or anything on him. He takes that gash, and you actually, the two of you, Lumia and Mog, see this guy is shit-faced, and he goes like, "God, my back itches. What's going on?"
He didn't even spill a drop of ale after
Yeah,
that.
he takes another swing. Takes another swing. Okay, it's the Lasheri's turn. It is. I'm gonna go ahead and say, its actions are wildly unpredictable. Caius, you expected it to go after you when you saw it in the wilds. It was raging effectively, similar to how you are now.
Yes.
But it seemed to want to come to the town first, and that is confusing.
What?
So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to roll a d6 to determine the direction that it travels. If it is a 1 or a 2, it is going to go after the civilians that are near Lumia and Mogs. If it is a 5 or a 6, it is going to go after the guards and Harvey and the other civilians over there. If it is a 3 or a 4, it's going to stay here and try and eat you. I don't know. Let's see. A 2.
oh.
Yeah, you guys.
Morning
this is-
save
Strangest shape
me.
when that thing turns.
So you guys see
Yo.
you see the Lasheri, like it looks at first like it's about ready to try and effectively maul Caius, but the first thing that it does is it turns to look at what I would describe in its own eyes as
juicy blob of 4 civilians, and it's gonna go for it. So let me go ahead and take a look and see. So it moves 5 feet, and then it's going to attempt to move another 5 feet, which actually makes it leave your opportunity
attack.
Guys, go ahead and roll another attack for me. If you'd like to take it. You don't have to, technically. There's no reason not to. At least not at this low level.
You think Caius is gonna let the big boy get away? Absolutely not. Dang.
Come on, what's the total?
That's it's a hit.
What is
plus 6. So what's that? 13?
That is 1 under its armor
Damn.
class. So you just sent this very decisive uppercut into this creature's guts, causing it to sort of double over. It reconsiders engaging with you, and as a consequence of that, it starts to sprint away. And as it's doing so, you go to try and give it, like, we'll go ahead and say you try and get the haymaker with your other hand, and one of its ears, autonomously, almost like it's not even looking at you as it does this, one of its ears slaps your hand out of the way as it's coming in, making it go off course and causing your swing to go wide.
God, he's got ultra instinct.
I've never heard of I'm not used to these kind of creatures. There's nothing like this back home.
Oh god, it moves 30 feet. As a consequence of that, it is going to use its slide feature. If it runs into a creature after moving at least 20 feet, the creature must make a DC 13 saving throw or be knocked prone. So it is going to try and knock this guy prone. So this guy has -1. He needs to roll a 14 or higher in order to succeed. He does not.
Nope.
This guy
Tragic.
falls on his ass as the Lasheri, you watch as the blubber and sort of fur on this creature's belly, it is already caked in snow and sleet and ice. It uses its 2 front appendages to basically be like the ski poles that skiers use, dig into the snow and throw itself towards this guy, basically. It's sliding on the ground. And as it reaches this guy, literally just kind of like, boom, like hits this guy, knocks him to the ground. The first thing he's going to do is going to attempt to make a claw attack into him while he's on the ground. Since he is prone, he has advantage.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that hits the guy on the ground. It is going to go ahead and do...
Please don't die.
1 fucking damage!
He's alive!
Oh,
Let's go!
Oh,
You
man.
know, this is the type of bad luck that I'm okay with for these monsters. So after making its first attack, you actually see that the sort of like the appendages that it has used to pull itself are now, it's almost like they have no fingers or anything like that. It's almost like the very front end of it is articulated like a hand. They're filled with snow and ice and sleet from pulling itself. You see that one of its ears kind of like whips a snowball in Lumia's direction.
What?
Lumia, what is your armor class?
Oh my god. Okay, let's see. My armor class is 18.
18? Alright, it's gonna have a hard fucking time hitting you. Oh, fuck!
What? Jesus, does it really?
No, it's actually very easy. Okay, Lumia, what's your health?
Oh,
9?
9? Alright, you should be fine. Let's see. Okay, that was a 1 and we all saw it. I'm gonna say that was a 1.
That was...
You saw what the fuck that dice did? I don't know what the hell that was.
Oh.
It was like,
So-
she
the
could take
max-
a little more.
The way that I am ruling critical hits, which is for you guys as well as the enemies, is it will roll its dice as normal and then also add the maximum possible damage that it can do. The maximum damage this creature can do with its snowball is 6. It just did 9 damage to Lumia.
No shot, dude.
So what I'm gonna go ahead and do here, because this is a freak, like, what the hell is going on? It rolled a natural 20 on its first attack against the player. Lumia, I'd like you to roll a d20 for me. If you roll an 11 or higher, I'm going to allow you to remain conscious at 1 health. If you roll a 10 or lower, you do fall unconscious. Okay.
Nice.
Lumia's at 1 health. We're gonna go ahead and mark that down. The welcome that you received to Serendipitous after having trudged through the mud and encountered a creature in your first combat and all this other kind of stuff. You get to a town, you're like, finally, time to take a break. You take 1 bite of your stew, You see the gate get barreled through. You walk up to this place, and a snowball hits you so hard in the head that you feel like you're about to die. It hits you as hard as you've ever been hit before in your life. That ends the Lasheri's turn.
Jesus Christ.
It's back and ice and it snowballs. That's not cool.
Yeah, basically, like we'll go ahead and say it looked like it was a snowball at first, and you've been hit by snow before. It's like Karanak gets all seasons, and then it hit you, and it was like, oh, that was a rock. So, you'll be fine. You're a cleric. Harvey, it's yours.
It gives Caius an idea.
At the beginning of Harvey's turn, would he like to say anything to any civilians that are 30 feet from him?
I want this guy. I want to look at this guy and I'm gonna be like, hey, you need to get out of here, man.
Okay.
You gotta go.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that just for the sake of ease, when you tell them to do something is when they do it. So he's gonna go like, yeah, right, you're absolutely right. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. He starts sprinting down the pathway. Thank you.
You're welcome. I gotta see my 30 and
Jesus
I gotta make sure.
Christ, I'm so sorry, Jixie.
Okay, so
It's cool.
each tile's 5, right?
Yeah, each tile is 5. Diagonal movement's technically different, but that doesn't really matter. Yours 5, 10, 15. If you move here, that's 20, 25, 30. You can get right up there if you want to.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna go right here.
Yeah, you can end up on either this tile or that tile there. As like your maximum movement. And you see Caius is engaged with, it looks like Caius was previously engaged with the Lasheri, and now there's a Scavardi that is directly behind him. You have time to like turn around to see the Scavardi, Caius. It is trying to do the same thing to you that it was trying to do to the guard over there, where it's basically leaping at you with its bottom talons to like push you to the ground, and then it's just gonna try and rip you apart.
It can fucking try.
that guy on the ground in front of the Lasheri is alive, right?
Yeah, he's alive. He took 1 damage. It's fucking wild to me how the first attack that was going into a civilian, the first 2 attacks were 1, and the like first 2 attacks into the players rolled the maximum damage that they could. Really, like, just absolutely insane.
He is too far for me to shoot with my bow, isn't he?
I believe so, yeah. And remember, the gate itself needs to be closed before the combat can end.
Right,
More
right.
enemies will show up at the start of every turn as long as that.
Oh,
Yeah. And so do I need to get like in this? I can't. You can't see where I'm.
Here, hold on. I'll use the. Can you see the ruler? Can you see
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, can you see my ruler?
Yeah,
Yeah,
can
we
see
can.
yours.
Oh,
If
do I
you
need
are
to get up here?
Yeah, you need to be like around this area. I will say, just for the sake of ease, as long as you are adjacent to some of the rubble or adjacent to the wall or both, you can attempt to interact with the game.
Okay. I would like to take out my bow and shoot at the Scavardi right next to Caius.
Okay. So this will trigger sneak attack if you do manage to hit. Go ahead and roll an attack for me. This will be your proficiency plus your dexterity modifier. And what's your bonus? Almost
So
certain.
11.
So let me make sure that we're getting it right. What is your bonus to dexterity?
Plus. Oh, I'm sorry. 5. I lied.
Okay, cool. That's a hit. 11 would have been a miss, but this is definitely a hit. Go ahead and roll the damage for the short bow plus the damage for your sneak attack and add your dexterity modifier to it. So I believe that should just be 2d6 total, right? I think.
It's 1d6 plus 3.
So that's 8, and then your sneak attack triggers because there is a character adjacent to your target, so you'll be adding an additional d6 to the damage. Hey, by the way, did you guys know rogues are fucking nuts? Rogues are really good.
good lord.
How do I get these guys?
Here, hold on. Here.
Oh, escape. That's right.
Plus another. God damn. Okay, so
Jesus.
Harvey, you
9. Oh,
yeah, that is 9 plus 3. That's
I'm not even done.
12 damage, right?
He's dead.
Yeah, this Scavardi is dead fully. You see actually, you specifically, Caius, as you turn to like meet the Scavardi, an arrow goes through both of its eyes horizontally. It is dead, fully. Like you don't hear Harvey approaching, or anything of that nature until the arrow is already in the creature's skull. It falls to the ground. You turn and you see the friend that you made on the ship, having just fired a shot.
Can
Hey,
Hey,
it's
you gotta close the gate. You gotta close the gate.
You gotta close the gate.
You gotta close the gate. Look what
What?
you did. You gotta close it.
What did I did?
It tossed you through the gate.
But I want the big guy.
So you still have 5 feet of your movement, Harvey. You also have used your action, but you do still have a bonus action. I don't think you get cunning action until level 2,
I think you're correct.
which is really unfortunate. But you do still have another 5 feet of movement. I know that's not much. You've already used one of it diagonally, so you can really only move in the cardinal 4 directions. If you don't want
I'm just
to,
gonna go one more that way.
okay. That will be Harvey's turn. Lumia, you have a headache. You're not doing too hot.
You can say
start your
that
turn,
again.
You can hear the sort of like frantic yelling of the civilians that are around you, going like, "Holy shit! What the fuck is happening?" They start sprinting past you. This guy, you see this fucking giant like rabbit-looking thing barrel into this guy and then throw up literally a piece of ice at you so hard that your head is spinning. What do you do?
Well, I think it goes without saying, as I am within a literal inch of death, that I will be casting Healing Word on myself, if that's
So
okay with
I have
everyone.
a question for you. Do you have Cure Wounds prepared?
Good question. Let's go take a look at ye old spell book.
I'm not going to be
I do
a
not.
rules lawyer. Okay, then that is perfectly fine. Just to make sure that
Oh.
no, it is Healing Word is a great spell, especially for early levels, because Healing Word has a range and it takes a bonus action, which allows you to do your action like hitting things. But in later level play, Cure Wounds is integral to the function of a cleric. It is a range of touch and it does take an action. Healing Word heals for a D4 plus your spellcasting modifier, and Cure Wounds heals for a D8 plus your spellcasting modifier. It's not important, like not as important at lower levels, but at higher levels, Cure Wounds is super, super strong.
Yeah.
With that in mind, you do have Healing Word.
Well, I'm gonna cast the shit out of it.
Target yourself, I presume.
Yes.
Cool.
It's what, a 1d4 plus my spell casting ability modifier.
Which is your charisma modifier. So
Yes,
whatever-
and
I
that's a
believe what
4.
this is. Yeah, so roll a d4, add 4, and then you're going to heal that much.
Woo, please give me something other than a
Annoying.
1.
Okay, 6 health rather, which brings you up to 7 out of 9 health. You almost fully heal yourself. Moggs, you actually watch. How does your Healing Word? I know Healing Word is what it's called, but you can flavor it as literally whatever you like. How do you heal yourself? With this ranged heal that you're kind of planting into yourself.
I would say that it manifests very similarly to most of my magic in very dusky twilight hues, glittering stars, soothing aura and ambiance, very calming.
Okay.
And I'm somehow magically less dead.
Yeah, so Moggs, you hear a word in like an ancient divine language that you've never heard before. Lumia says this single word, and as a consequence of that, you actually see this almost like reverse halo sort of cast around the point of impact of this thing, which I'll be frank with you was your face. Then you see the broken nose or whatever that was happening there, the like bruises, fade away completely. Lumia is almost completely back up to stuff. So that was your bonus action and a spell slot. So do mark 1 spell slot down. Now, you can do anything with your action aside from casting another spell that takes a spell slot. So you can cast a cantrip, or you can attack, or anything of that nature. You also still have your movement.
Okay. I know that I got hit at range by a freak snowball. I selfishly would like to back up a little bit, I think.
Okay.
But before I do that, is it possible for me to cast my cantrip Sacred Flame and target the Scavardi that is closest to our drunken friend here on the left?
Oh, sorry, you were cutting out just for a moment. Do you mean the dwarven, the sort of like these two over here?
Yes.
Yeah, you can absolutely target this one. You would like to cast Sacred Flame, is that right?
Yes.
Hell yeah. So, remind me again what Sacred Flame's saving throw that they have to make is.
So they must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or take 1d8 radiant damage.
Okay, beautiful. And what is your spell save DC?
Let me hop back over
As
here.
far as I'm aware, it should
It's-
be 14, I think.
Yeah, it is. It's 14.
Cool. So we're going to go ahead and roll. They have a +2 to their dexterity saving throws, which means if they roll a 12 or higher, they succeed. If they roll an 11 or lower, they fail. So this is
Better
a
miss.
45% chance of success, I think. That is a success.
You're
So you see
Jesus.
this sort of like divine. It is not a reverse radiance in the sense of like you're casting darkness on things, but it is this more gentle radiance than you would expect coming from a holy cleric, where normally you would expect things like sunlight and sort of like blindingly bright beams of light or stuff of that nature. It's more like light of the moon or the stars, where it's this gentle sort of like trickling of light that tries to cast down upon this creature, and you sort of like toss this piece of energy from your hand, and you do actually see that the creature, unknowingly even to itself, just by its erratic movements trying to catch up to the civilian, manages to evade the attack.
Darn.
And
Okay.
you do have your movement.
All right. I think that, and I think I have enough movement to do this. I think I'm going to reposition myself a little bit like over here.
Okay. So you can move 5, 10, 15.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. That is definitely something you can do. Would you like to end your turn there?
Yes.
Beautiful. Moggs, that does bring us to you.
Okay. This is an interesting setup.
Yeah, there's a lot of fucking people here. Man,
This thing's-
Fireball would do a lot right
I was about to say, this thing has got to be like towering over Moggs.
now. Yeah, Moggs, you have you've only ever seen something this large once in your life, and it was actually quite recently. And well, the thing that you saw before, actually, I'll be straight with you, was a gargantuan-sized creature, which is 16 times larger than this. As big as this thing is, you've seen bigger.
Did Jinx do her civilian command?
I don't believe so. Jinxie, would you like to have commanded a civilian on your turn?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I would have. I didn't even think about that. I apologize.
Very fine. You can pick any of the civilians that are near you here, any of these 4, and tell them to do a thing. It could be as simple as stand up, or disengage, or move faster. You know, any of that stuff to any of them.
Would it be possible to tell our friend that's drinking to disengage and get out of there?
Absolutely.
Can we do the laying down one instead?
Well, if we tell them to stand up, I'm afraid it's gonna tempt the.
They will probably so on their turn. What they can, if nothing is done to the guy who's on the ground on his turn, he can stand up, move 5 feet, and trigger an opportunity attack from the Lasheri. That's what will happen on his turn, because he's gonna run. I mean, I'll be straight with you. He's gonna try and run as far away from the Lasheri as he can, and as far away as he can go is here.
But if you have him stand up, I could have him disengage.
Very true.
So let me ask my other question. We're treating the civilians as allies, right?
Yes, they're technically a neutral party, but yes, civilians are allies.
And I, as a small character, can stand in the same space as an ally, right?
I believe so. Yeah. Well, no, you'd have to be a tiny character. Small characters cannot.
Okay. All right. I would prefer the dwarf stay where he is for right now.
Okay. If you were all right, I also would like to say, just for the record, I'm never going to punish you for wanting to do something independently, dependent on what the party is trying to accomplish or what have you.
Yeah.
If you would like Lumia to tell that guy to stand up, you absolutely can.
It is your choice. I'm just stating what I, as a player, would prefer.
I got you. I mean, I don't know now. Sure. Let's tell him to stand up.
Yeah, so you, Lumia, in almost the same time that you cast your healing word upon yourself, you say that in that ancient tongue. This guy is looking up from the ground at you, very confused, and you kind of look at him and you go like, "Get up." And he's like, "Oh, okay, all right, I'll stand." He is starting to get to his feet, and now it is Mog's turn. Mog, it's the start of your turn. Would you like to tell a civilian to do something?
Do I have to do it at the start? Can I do it at the end?
I guess it doesn't really matter when you do it at your turn.
Okay. Actually, no, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'll tell the guy that just stood up to disengage.
Roger that. When he moves on his next turn, he will not provoke opportunity attacks.
Sweet. Okay, so I want to move. So this would be 10, and then 20.
So you're moving through snow. That's
Or it'd be
10,
30?
That's 30. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it is nasty, gross daytime out, but I do have an ally next to me, so I can
indeed.
have pack tactics going off.
I knew that's why you're asking. Hell yeah, go ahead.
And I am actually going to use
Let me figure out which one it is that you guys killed. That's 4, 3, 1. You killed 2. Okay, let me remove him from the initiative.
booming blade,
Roger that.
my knife. 7. That turns into 11.
11. Let me go ahead and take a look. That is 1 under what you needed.
Okay. I'll use my inspiration.
Okay, go ahead and roll another die.
There we go.
That is definitely a hit. So go ahead and roll the. So remind at this level, Booming Blade doesn't do any extra damage, or does it? And then it does extra damage when they try and move, right?
It will do the damage if they try to move.
Okay, cool.
wait.
And I know it's later levels that it adds more damage onto the normal hit as well.
Yeah, so right now it is d4 plus 3, so that's 6.
6 damage into Scavardi 4. Beautiful.
Normal attack becomes
Smarty
sheathed
Four
in
is
moving
very
energy until the start of my next turn. If he willingly moves 5 feet or more before the end of my next turn, he takes 1d8 thunder.
Okay. I'll be straight with you. If he moves, he dies.
Sweet.
Scavardi 4 is at 1 health.
Okay. And I don't think I have anything I can do with my bonus action. Unless there's some innate thing that I'm not thinking of.
No. Bonus actions are typically empty unless a class feature fills it.
Got it.
Okay. Will that end Mog's turn?
Did a command, did a move, did attack, yep.
Alrighty. So at the beginning of at the top of the initiative, you guys watch as 2 more of these Scavardi barge in through the hole in the gates. They're not going to act immediately. At least they will act when the Scavardi go. But let me go ahead and Scavardi 5.
Let me see where.
6. Beautiful. Okay.
I suppose I should clarify with everyone else. So what's going on is the kobold has light sensitivity, so if I or my target is in direct sunlight, I roll at disadvantage. However, if an ally is next to whoever I am targeting, I get pack tactics, which gives me advantage and cancels that out.
Yep.
Oh.
Fighting at night is going to be genuinely advantageous for you guys. However, I've already told, I believe, I think I may have only told Ken this. Nighttime in Serendipitous is arguably the most dangerous time that creatures can exist. If you're in the wilds of Serendipitous at night, your likelihood of dying exponentially increases.
Oh, God.
Okay, so it is civilians' turns. This guy over by Haru is going to move 5, 10, 15. He's fine, I'll be honest. He's almost completely out. This guy over here, looks like these 3 may have been like partying or something of that nature, because this other guy also has a drink. Walking past you, Lumia goes like, "Hey, what's going on?"
I don't know why I thought he was holding the banana. It was the other part of Lumia's staff.
He's holding he's totally holding a banana in his other hand. He goes like, I just wanted to drink my ale and eat bananas with my friends. And this guy is going to attempt to move. He's going to trigger an opportunity attack from the Scavardi. So the Scavardi's going to roll. Oh my god! He misses! This guy
Ridiculous.
is
Amazing.
a fucking legend.
Gone.
He just stumbles forwards, almost tripping over himself, and this creature, unironically, just like tries to like clamp down with his jaw on where he thought the civilian was going to be, and he's not there because he fell over. And then he just kind of like rolls to his feet and keeps going. And then this guy is not going to trigger an opportunity attack. I think I'm going to roll a die here to see if he goes for the steward's house or if he goes for the merchant's house.
Being
Odds-
drunk is a superpower, apparently.
True. I'll say odds he'll go for stewards, evens he'll go for merchants.
Okay.
So 5, 10. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I believe that is all the civilians' turns, so that is going to bring us to Caius. The guy in front of you is fully dead. The Lasheri that you were trying to attack is sprinting over to more civilians and stuff of that nature is happening over there. You see that there are 3 guards, including a guard captain, that have barged out of what you can only assume to be the guardhouse over there. And they've pointed at you and are kind of going like, help him, try and close the gate. And then you also heard from Harvey, try and close the gate.
Yeah.
What does Caius want to do?
Oh my god, dude.
I know I'm the devil on the shoulder right now, but like, does Caius really want to close the gate?
I mean, well, seeing as 2 more monsters just rolled up
Yeah,
through the gate,
that's a lot.
yeah, as much as Caius likes fighting, he isn't dumb to the point
Yeah,
where
Caius understands the fact that the more monsters that arrive here, the likelihood of him and everyone here surviving this encounter dwindles significantly.
exactly. So I'm going to go to the gate.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
I have 35 feet of movement
Yeah, 35, that's right.
as as part shifter. Is this right here?
Where were you? Like,
I was like here.
20, 25, 30.
Right here?
I'll let you get 5 feet. I don't give a shit. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. All right. So would I have to take care of these 2 things before I actually?
No, you can fully do like actions involving trying to board up the gates, even if there are creatures near you. That's not going to stop the creatures from trying to eat you. But
That's fine.
yeah. Also, I will say, for the purposes of your rage, just so that way you're aware, your rage ends if one of 2 things have not happened since your last turn. Either you attacked something or you were damaged. So if you choose to try to put the gate together to try and like fill this hole, if neither of these 2 Scavardi successfully hit you and do damage to you, your rage drops and you will have to rage again on your turn.
Gotcha.
So as long as you're okay with that. I know that is a little rough. But a fortunate thing, I'm going to read to you what it takes to bar the gate.
Yes.
There's a great deal of rubble from the gate's destruction that is being used for other creatures to pour inside. Unless it is sealed, creatures will continue to spawn from the threshold of the gate. I will add 2 Scavardi at the beginning of each initiative round until the gate is closed. The gate can be closed with the nearby rubble. A creature can spend an action to make an athletics check to use nearby rubble to impede the creature's influx. A success nets 2 points towards the successful closure of this aperture. A failure still nets you 1 point, and you need a total of 5 points to close the gate, which will be, if it is only you working on it, 3 full turns.
Yeah.
The guards can help. So if this guard is freed up of the Scavardi that he's currently fighting, he can try and make his way over to you. Once he's near this rubble, I'll let him try.
Okay.
This guard being up here is very much so just out of position. He can't really get down. And same with these guys. If these guys manage to get over there, they can help you out with it. So it's not just you that would have to do this. But the guards are far away. So I'll let you decide what you want to do.
All right. Jeez. Okay.
It's a lot. It is.
Gotcha. I guess
there's technically nothing that says you can't just try to beat the shit out of the monsters that are coming in while you're waiting for the guards to get here to close the gate faster. Like try and stem the flow of the Scavardi coming through, and then once the guards are here, you can kind of all at once, boom, boom, boom. It's sealed.
I mean, but that's the thing. If 2 just popped in at the end of one go round.
Because you're adjacent to them, I know I don't want to speak for what Harvey's going to do on their turn, but because you are adjacent to both of these, Harvey can attack either of them and trigger sneak attack again.
That is awesome.
So if you manage to kill one, Harvey could presumably kill the other one. That does, however, leave Moggs and Lumia to fight this big thing on their own.
I'm going to I'm going to try and close the gate.
Okay. I would like you, because you are raging, you get advantage on this. I would like you to make an athletics check. Also, I'll just be forthright with you. If you roll a critical success, I'll give you 3 points towards success instead of just 2.
Oh, nice.
So,
all right.
2d20. And then add whatever your bonus is to the higher of these rolls. So an 18. Yeah, that's almost certainly going to succeed.
18 plus, what, 4?
Plus 4. Yeah, that's 100% easy.
Oh, wait,
easy,
you said
easy.
Proficient. Oh, plus 6.
Are you proficient in your athletics?
I am.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, so you start to recognize that there is enough rubble around. You see, like, the gate itself is on the ground in front of you, and you spend some time with these 2 Skivardi adjacent to you. It is relatively difficult to try to get, like, an angle to try and reach forwards and grab this gate. The 2 Skivardi we'll say that they are dashing in as you're doing this. You push the gate horizontally up to try to, like, stem them from coming in. They leap over the gate and land here in front of you.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that is 2 out of 5 points towards the successful closure of this aperture. That is your action.
All right.
I'm fairly sure action and movement. I don't think you have another bonus action aside from.
I do.
You do?
Oh, yeah, I'm part shifter.
Oh, that's right. Your shifter traits.
I'm gonna go ahead and shift, and it lasts for a minute.
Okay.
To where it says.
You can either, so which of these 4 did you decide that you wanted? Was it the Swift Stride?
Yeah, mine's Swift Stride.
Swift Stride. Okay, so your walking speed increases by 10 feet. You can move 10 feet as a reaction when a creature ends its turn within 5 feet of you. If you would like, I'm not sure if you would want to do this, but I'll go ahead and allow that reaction to trigger right now without burning your reaction, because I did say this could already land in front of you.
Yeah.
You don't have to burn your reaction for this, because then you would not be able to opportunity attack them if they ran past you.
Yeah, no, I'm not going anywhere.
Okay.
But it does say I get to gain temporary hit points equal to 2 times my proficiency bonus.
Yeah, it does. So you get 4 temporary hit points.
How would I put that on my
your, like, character model?
Yeah.
It's.
Can I just put it up as, like, put it to the thing?
I'll go ahead and say that, like, for the sake of ease, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna change stat 1 in the stats to 10 hit points.
Okay.
Give me a second to get campaign board settings. Stat 1, temporary hit points. Okay, and then if we go back to the mini, right click, go to stats, temporary hit points. We're gonna go ahead and say it is 4 out of 4. Beautiful. Will that end Caius's turn?
Yes, that will.
Phenomenal. It's the guards' turn. The guards are not really in good positions, I'll be frank with you. The one that's up on the gate is seeing Caius trying to, like, close the gate, and he is going to try and run support. He's going to try and run covering fire. He's going to move 5 feet up, and he's going to fire at the Skivardi that we can see here. This one that is right over that Skivardi 6.
Yes.
We'll go ahead and roll his attack, see how he does. Okay.
Oh, come on, dude.
You see him kind of, like, start to march up. He fires his he has reloaded his crossbow since his last turn. He tries to fire the crossbow, and you hear this twang like it's fucking piano wire as his crossbow fully disintegrates in his hand. You see it kind of like, and he's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Hold on. He pulls out what looks like a spear or a sword, and he's going to try to climb down. I'm going to roll an athletics check for him to see if he successfully makes it.
I was about to say, Jesus.
Wow.
Caius doesn't even realize these people are trying to help him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Caius probably especially doesn't recognize this guy's trying to help him, because as far as you're aware, you saw him hold up a piece of wood, it disintegrates in his hand, and then he jumps off.
Oh my god.
I'm going to roll. That's about like a 15-foot drop. I'm just going to go and roll 2d6 to see how much damage he takes. 6 damage.
Unbelievable.
He almost took 11.
Yeah. That would have killed him straight up.
Stay in school, kids.
Stay in school.
Jesus
Don't end up like
Christ.
this guy.
Oh my gosh.
So interesting to note, the fall damage bloodied him.
Oh.
I will say he only moved, what was that, 5, 10? I'll say this was 15. He's going to use the rest of his movement to stand up. So he's not fully fucked on his next turn. This guard is recognizing that he is in dire straits right now. He is going to drop his... he's going to drop his crossbow, and he's going to pull out his short sword, and he's going to try and take a swing at this guy. Let's see how...
Let's hope he gets something.
He's...
Oh my god.
my- I don't know. The spear disintegrates in his hand. I don't fucking have any idea what is happening with these rolls.
This is the guy who was signed up to be a soldier but really didn't want to. He just signed up for the perks.
You
How did
actually
this
see-
town survive without us?
I don't know.
We're being hacked by the monsters.
I promise, according to the rules, according to the stats, these guys have a reasonable chance of trying to fend off a couple of these Scavardi on their own. Like, realistically, Scavardi versus Guard, it's an even fight. I don't know what the fuck is happening.
Doubt.
He tries to pull out the long sword that is, or like the short sword that is at his waist. It is iced shut to his fucking scabbard. He's like, oh, shit. He just, I'm going to go ahead and say, like, even though he rolled a natural 1 to hit with his short sword, he's going to hold up the short sword in the scabbard and still try to take a swing with an unarmed strike to see if he can do anything. Okay, he does. He does 2 damage because unarmed strikes do 1 damage, and he adds his strength modifier. So Scavardi 1 takes an additional 2. Nice job, man.
Good on you.
Good on you.
You turned a bad situation into an
An
not as bad situation.
I am also going to go ahead and tell you guys about another special rule, as the guard captain is also going to go. The captain can command each guard within 30 feet of them to move or attack, and they can use their reactions to do so. So first thing he's going to do is he's going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Can you go ahead and measure to see if he's 30 feet from that guy? Because if he's not, I'm going to go...
He is 29.6
not
feet.
quite close enough. The way...
Uh-huh.
It's like just out of reach. He's gonna go ahead and have moved here instead to make sure. That
Okay.
So I'll also be transparent about this. If
Yes.
part of a ruler intersects with the base, that is not enough. It needs to be almost. It needs to be half
gotcha.
or more of the model that is intersecting with the ruler in order for it to trigger. So that's almost. Yeah, that's definitely enough.
Okay, gotcha. I understand now.
So what he's gonna do is he's going to tell the guy who is there to. He basically he marches out into the snow, kind of gestures with his hand, with his open hand, with his shield, and goes like, "What the fuck are you doing? Draw your sword!" And he's gonna try and draw his sword to make another swing. And he's also going to announce to these guys to forward march. So they're gonna go to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Then they're going to use their move actions as well. So 5, 10, 15,
Oh, let's go. That's
20,
cool.
25, 30. 5,
Sweet.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So these guys are sprinting towards the front. Then he is going to, I think the guard captain, he does not have a ranged weapon. He is going to use the dash action and try to move. He's gonna, I'm gonna just say that he was staying here because that still keeps him in range. He's gonna move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He sees that that's going on over there. It's not great. Okay, so this guy's gonna make an attack against the Scavardi that is here.
Come on.
All right, man. You don't have to be a guard if you don't want to. It's fine. Like you don't have to. You don't have to do this.
This is him giving a poor performance to get removed.
Yeah, he just really doesn't want to be here right now. I will go ahead and say that these two are recognizing that there are civilians that are being attacked as well as things that are coming through the gate, and they're going to need to determine what they do here. I will roll a d6. On a 1 to a 2, they're going to attack these. On a 3 to a 4, they're going to attack these. And on a 5 to a 6, they're going to help their buddy. So they're going to help their buddy. They're going to try and get him out. They're going to try and get him out of the dire straits that he's in to get this fucking Scavardi off of him. So they pull out their crossbows and so we'll go ahead and roll 2 attacks. Jesus fuck!
What?
Oh
These
my
guys
God.
want to be here.
These are the
Oh yeah, these guys want to be here. They fucking 2 crossbow bolts. The Scavardi falls, and then you watch this guard sort of like finally drawing his sword, go like, thank you. And he's gonna start moving to like start to try and help you. So that's 5, 10, that's fucking 30.
Why weren't these guys out here first?
I know, right?
Look,
okay,
Frank, it's not that hard.
that's all of the guards. It's the Scavardi's turn now.
Oh, here we go.
Great.
So these 2 Scavardi, I'm going to go ahead and say, again, they're not necessarily intelligent enough to know to flank you, so they're just going to remain there. They don't really have a reason to move. They've got food right in front of them, as far as they're concerned. And for this guy, I'm going to go ahead and roll to see if he wants to still go for these civilians or to go for the things that might need a can opener over here. So evens is going to be can
What?
opener, odds is going to be civilians. Well, they're
Please
wearing
attack
armor.
him, please.
All right, they're gonna go over these. They're gonna go after these guys. So 5, 10, 15, 20. He's gonna go after the guard captain, I'd say.
Ooh.
And then
Yeah,
this
things weren't
guy,
looking pretty over there.
This guy doesn't see a reason to move. He's gonna go ahead and just plant himself there next to Moggs. But this guy is still acting as erratic as ever, and he is going to roll a d20 to determine if he goes after Lumia and the civilians, or if he, or like this group of people, or if he goes after this group of people. So let's
God.
we'll say I do want to skew this in one direction because of how many civilians are over here and the fact that he's already chasing them. So I'll say on the roll of a d20, if he rolls a 16 or higher, he will go for the guards.
Are you mad at me?
Yeah, he's gonna.
Apparently.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
Let me go
good.
ahead and roll.
Damn.
5.
Oh,
10,
no.
20. He moves right up here, and he has moved 20 feet. I'm going to let this be another roll of the die because, again, these are wild animals that are. This one especially is acting super erratic. It's going to be another d6 roll to see who he knocks on their ass. It's either going to be this guy, or Lumia. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 will be Lumia. 2. Okay, so the same guy.
This guy is having a hard time.
He just stood up. He's like, I gotta get out. And he fucking falls again as this thing land blasts him. And I'll say on that, the Lasheri is going to attack him. I know
1
you're
damage,
not-
let's go.
I know
He's
you're not
gone.
adjacent to him, Lumia, but in the case that this does hit, I will let you elect to take the damage in his place. It is entirely up to you.
Oh,
Don't roll a crit. Oh my god. He still hits. Like, these things have 10. These civilians have 10 health. Or 10 armor class. So it's not going to be... You will be hard-pressed to watch, especially the Lasheri, miss against these guys. So that is going to be another... 4 damage. I believe that kills him. Yes, he is fully dead. You actually watch...
Tragic.
You watch the Lasheri sort of like bound up to you, sliding on the ground. It plants itself in the ground here, knocks this guy off of his feet by sweeping under him, and then you watch as he takes his other his 2 forearm appendages that he hasn't used up until now, and straight up takes one and plunges it into this guy's chest. He is fully dead on the ground. The next attack he's going to
Wait,
make,
I thought.
unless you would like to take the 4 damage. I'll just straight up tell you. You know this guy's gonna die if you don't take the damage.
I will take the damage.
Okay, it's only 4. It's not any higher than that. I'm not gonna like re-roll the damage or whatever. So yeah, sorry, I forgot about my own rule for some fucking reason. Yeah, so you have a vision of this guy dying, and then you're like, nope, I would rather him not do that. And we'll say that there is an opportunity, a window for you to sort of like interject yourself, to interpose yourself between the Lasheri and the strike that he's about to make into the civilian. It's basically like you catch the appendage, or you catch the claw partway through, basically just trying to push your staff, your pole arm in between you and it, but it still manages to lash across your stomach.
Okay.
I think its next attack is going to go ahead and be another randomly determined strike. It's either going to be into Dwarf or Lumia. So evens will be Dwarf, odds will be Lumia. It is Lumia. It's a good thing that wasn't an attack roll. Yeah, it's going to turn to you and it's going to see that you just kept it from potentially getting a meal, and it's going to take a swing. So AC 18, still going to be hard for it to hit. You successfully managed to evade the blow. Would you like this to be something that you're actively doing or something that your armor helps you with?
Armor.
Okay. The first swing, you physically had to literally put yourself in harm's way with it, but then the next time when it tries to swing at you with intent, you angle yourself in such a way to where it cannot find purchase with its claws, and it scrapes across your armor, probably leaving a couple scratches you're not too happy about, but you can buff them out later. That is its turn. Congrats, you guys. You've survived the second enemy turn. Harvey, it's your turn.
That guy's a beast.
This is
Literally.
You should.
It's level 1 5e combat, guys. I have even scaled
okay.
this down from what is expected for 5e's level 1 combat.
So from what I can tell, these guys up here, they can hold their own.
so
They're doing okay.
I'll be straight with you. Every guard but the guard captain is identical. They have
Yeah, but they just have really good luck.
Yeah, they've just been lucky.
So I'm gonna assume that they're just invincible. And I'm
from the countenance of the guard captain, the way he's holding himself, you see the flail kind of like lull down to the ground. You hear it hit the cobblestone beneath him. You hear this very dense, like, as it lands on the ground. You're not sure you could lift that flail he's holding. You're pretty sure that this guard captain, it means business.
he's a tough boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a quick question.
Yeah, of course.
So with the 2x2, they can go on a diagonal movement,
Yeah.
and that doesn't provoke an opportunity because it's like going through the square that I.
They were outside of your opportunity attack range, then they stepped into it. They never left it, and that's the only thing that triggers opportunity attack range or opportunity attack. So if they were to attempt to leave your opportunity attack range, that is when it would trigger. Otherwise, they're currently adjacent to you.
Yeah, it's in my head like they were going diagonal through the one that's just to the side of me.
Oh, that's nice, but that's fair.
But that's fine.
Yeah, Harvey. So you do feel like these three can probably hold their own, and they're also going to help Caius at the gate. All of the guards are currently helping Caius. Like
I
straight
do
up,
like that.
every single guard sees, like, maybe the two that were out here are like a little upset, like they think that Caius did this, but they're also seeing Caius is trying to stop this from getting any worse, and they're like, all right, let's help him.
Right. Well, and now it's kind of 6-3.
Well, I mean,
So-
it is right now. At the end of Mog's turn, like before the civilians go, it will be 6-5, and then it'll be 6-7, so on and so forth.
Oh gosh.
You guys got this. You're already almost halfway to closing the gate, and with how many guards are running up there, hopefully they'll be able to overwhelm the Scavardi and or just close the gate.
I would like to sneak attack the Lasheri.
Hell
my
fucking
bow.
yeah. So what is the short range of your short bow? I think it's 150 feet, right?
Short bow range is 80 feet or 320 possible.
Okay, so the 80 feet is the short range, and then the 320 is the long
Yeah.
range. Long range gives you disadvantage, but they're definitely in your short range. At
Yeah,
least as far
'cause
as I'm
it's-
aware, yeah, they're
yeah,
easily
okay.
in your short range. So go ahead and make a shot for me.
Is it a 20?
Yeah, it's a d20.
Sorry.
Attack rolls, skill checks, and saving throws are always
Yeah.
going to be d20 rolls, unless something weird's happening. Oh fuck!
2. Oh fuck.
You have your inspiration.
Dude.
I'm definitely gonna want that.
Go ahead and use it. So we got
Alright.
we got a total of 7, I think, on
Let's get
that
some
one.
new dice over here.
Okay, so what's your bonus? It's +5, right?
Yes.
Let me go ahead and pull it up because I think this is going to be down to the wire. The Lasheri's
don't-
armor class is 14. You hit.
Let's go.
Okay. Thank
They
goodness.
are adjacent to many allies. It doesn't trigger sneak attack more than once, but it's going to be 2d6 plus 3 because of sneak attack. Oh my god, 10! Jesus! Yeah, very, very solid swing into this thing. Let me go ahead and mark that on its... That's the second time this thing has been hit. First time, Caius landed a really solid uppercut. This thing has been wreaking havoc and causing real problems over here. You guys, Moggs and Lumia especially, because you are currently in front of the creature. It just hit you. You see an arrow, or at least we'll say you don't see it. It's not like, it doesn't have that much stopping power. But you hear the loosing of an arrow and the sort of whistling through the wind, and then the sudden sort of like wet thwap as it lands in the back of this creature. And you immediately see it goes like and sort of turns slightly to look towards Harvey. It's upset. It just got hit for a
I
lot.
have a quick.
Can I flip it off?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
If you want, I will let that have a mechanical effect where it will have a higher likelihood of going after you. It's up to you. You don't have to.
Yeah, I want that.
Do it.
Make sure to remind.
No, I want to do the whole arm thing where I like slam my other arm into my elbow.
Yeah. Make sure, like, I'm saying this to everybody because straight up, I'm gonna forget. Make sure to remind me on the Lasheri's next turn that Harvey did that.
Okay.
Oh, I will.
Yeah, what's up? What's your question?
The Scavardi that were at the gate, did they swing at me?
No, they didn't. Fuck.
I was gonna say I don't think any of the Scavardi attacked.
You're absolutely correct. None of the Scavardi attacked. I'm a stupid man. If it were just the two that were at the gate, I'd be okay with it. But it is literally every Scavardi just moved and didn't do anything. I am gonna go ahead and say that after Harvey's turn, the Scavardi are gonna go and take their attacks. So we'll let you finish your move and everything else, Harvey.
Okay. So did the Lasheri turn around to look at me?
Yeah. Here,
Okay. So I'll
He
just,
wants
I'll
to
just-
physically see it.
Well, no. Well, I'm not gonna bonus action sneak then. So I'll just end my turn.
So
And I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick.
Okay.
Sorry.
Remind me that Lumia is next. I know I have to go back to the Scavardi here. These two are going to go ahead and take their two swings at you, Caius. Your armor class was how much?
15.
15? Okay. Da-da-da. So that is one hit for a grand total while you're raging of, rounded down, 1 damage.
Let's go.
These things
And I
can't
have
do more than 2
temporary-
damage to you.
Temporary hit point. 1 down.
Holy shit, that is phenomenal. Yeah, you're gonna be fine up here. I'll be straight with you. You're not gonna die.
That means he gets to
The-
keep raging too, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
you
the only reason why I was like, do not let me leave. Rage.
Thank you for catching that. I'll go ahead and say that this Scavardi is straight up gonna go for the guard captain, like no roll or anything like that. So let's go ahead and see how he does. It's the captain. No, he doesn't hit the captain. The captain has an armor class of 17. The Scavardi attempts to lash out into this captain, and you actually see the captain, as the Scavardi opens its mouth to try and like bite into the captain's, effectively his shoulder, you watch as the captain straight up shoves his shield into the Scavardi's mouth, and the Scavardi can no longer like open its mouth or close it. It is fully like the shield is stuck in its mouth.
What a badass.
Oh, God.
And then this Scavardi is going to go after Mox. What is your
I
armor
think I
class?
like this guy.
18.
18? Hell fucking yeah. Let me see his bonus. This is again, I think, gonna come down to the wire. His bonus is +4, so that does meet the armor class. So there's a important like nomenclature, important like term for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. It's called meet or beat. That is for literally everything that you're doing. If you're the one rolling the die, you have to meet or beat whatever it is you're trying to hit. So it's the same for saving throws and so on and so forth. So this is only going to be a d4 damage. So it is 3 damage into Mog's. What's Mog's max health?
10.
10? Okay. So that brings you down to 7. And that is all of the Scavardi's turns. Lumia, it is your turn.
Let's go.
Oh boy. Well,
So you do see that the Lasheri has turned around to look at Harvey. It's not a guarantee it's going to go after Harvey, but it's a chance. It's a higher chance.
well, I won't be taking any chances. I raise my hand to my breastplate. A soft lavender glow illuminates the metal, and I cast Healing Hands on myself.
Healing hands or healing word?
Healing Hands.
Okay.
I think it only gives me, it's equal to my level, so it should only be
that's
like
your
one.
ASMR feature. That's right.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm sorry. The terminology of like I'm gonna cast healing hands was
Sorry.
confusing. No, it's fine. It's perfectly fine. So healing hands, let me make sure I'm filling it appropriately as an action. Number of d4s equal to your proficiency bonus. Regains the number of hit points equal to total rolls. Or do you want to? So I do have a question for you. The Mordenkainen's Monsters of the Multiverse is technically the more recent version of the ASMR. But I will let you choose whether you want to use that one or you want to use the Volo's Guide to Monster version. I know that sounds super fucking confusing. it's probably just easier for us to say you're using the more recent version.
I mean,
'Cause
that's fine with me. I built with Volos and didn't mix them because I didn't know if that was a fair thing to do.
Okay.
But if you'll let me
It's-
take the more recent, then that's fine.
Yeah, no, I don't believe it actually changes all that much. It gives you another option when you reach 3rd level, and I believe it doesn't really change anything. The sub race is the only thing that really gets changed. Yeah, the healing hands becomes a significantly more balanced ability, as healing hands, as it is with the old one, is you regain hit points equal to your level, which would be 1 right now.
Yeah.
But healing hands in the updated version is you're rolling 2d4.
Oh.
So
Okay.
if you would like to, go ahead and roll 2d4, and that will heal you for that much. And
Just
you're-
throwing
you're-
them.
You're a Healy character, damn. 5, that brings you all the way back up to 8 out of 9 health. Now that is your action to do that.
Yeah.
That means you have your bonus action and your movement remaining.
Nora got my bonus action too. Okay, I didn't even realize I'd have that. All right, so, let me think here. This guy's like right in front of me. I think I'm actually going to attack using my Warhammer.
So it's important to note that attacking takes an action, and you just used your
Oh, shoot.
action in order. So,
That's
so
right.
the terminology of action and bonus action is actually genuinely confusing. I was confused by it at first because I thought that by bonus action they just meant like a second action, but it is actually a very it's like a half action in that kind of way.
Valid.
So you use the action if you want to, and I'm perfectly fine with you doing this if you do choose to. You can take back the healing hands, cast healing word with your last spell slot, and then make an attack. That's entirely up to you.
No, I'm pretty happy with that.
There's typically not much that you can do with bonus actions unless you have very specific features that let you.
Yeah, I didn't want to exhaust my last spell slot just because we're not
Fair.
done with the battle. However, I am curious for old boy that's on the ground over here. Do we remember how much health he has?
He's at 4 out of 5. Same
Okay,
with the
he's
dwarf
good.
who is currently holding a mug of ale. I will be straight up with you. The Lasheri does either 1d6 or 2d4 minus 2 damage, minimum 2. So it absolutely has the ability to kill both of these guys very handily. Very, very handily.
I can't cast sleep because I don't have the components needed for that. And I'm afraid if I cast Fairy Fire, I'm gonna actually wind up giving, because Fairy Fire, as far as I understand it, affects everyone. It's not just enemies. So I would be giving advantage to anyone in there,
Real
like
quick.
enemies included.
Just to make sure, the material components of sleep are covered by your holy symbol. Any material components that do not
Oh.
have a specific cost, you can actually just do that if you have your holy symbol on you, which as far as I'm aware, you absolutely do.
Okay, then.
Now those are action spells, and also Fairy Fire and Sleep are
Dang, they are
fantastic
too.
spells, just straight up. They're really good.
Okay, well,
Sleep could potentially, if you get the Lasheri down low enough, Sleep could end the fight, and then you can just like capture the Lasheri instead of killing it, and potentially even give the whole town like more hides and furs and meats and stuff like that.
yeah, but
um,
I'm out of actions. I feel like I can't do anything else here. If I move, I'm
Unfortunately,
gonna get
yeah.
swiped.
The action economy in 5th edition is definitely something to keep in mind. I'll be straight with you. You have you've taken like most of the damage in this fight.
Yeah.
Like all of the damage that has been dealt, you have taken the majority of it, and you're still at 8 health.
It's
Gonna
me.
keep
I'm
the
the tank,
civilians
guys.
Oh, what's up, Ben?
And you're keeping the civilians alive.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that's definitely true. The fact that you've just healed yourself up means that if the Lasheri decides it wants to turn back around and attack you, you can probably keep him alive.
Don't worry, it will. Okay, I'm gonna end my turn here then, I think.
Okie dokie.
You want to command a civilian?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
I
that's right.
keep
Also,
forgetting.
Harvey and Caius are not near enough to do that, but you two are. Do you want to
Okay.
tell that guy to stand up?
Get your ass up. Yeah, he needs to get up.
He goes like, "Yeah, trust me, I am trying." He stands up.
This man's having a day.
This has not been my day. I'm sorry. Moggs, that is back to you. I'll let you command it whenever you want, but thank you for reminding.
Okay. Which of the two has less health?
They have the same health. 4 and 4.
They both-
of them.
Okay. I'll tell Sleepy to do a disengage.
This one. Okay, yeah, he disengages.
And then I'm going to swing at Lasheri
Hell,
with Booming Blade.
go ahead and give it a swing. Come on. Oh yeah,
That's it.
yeah, easy.
Nice.
So go ahead and roll the damage. And if Harvey's taunt
Block.
works, so how much total?
That is plus, I believe, 3. Let me double check. Booming Blade. Yeah, so 4 total.
Beautiful. Okay, that is I know it's low damage, but that is not an insignificant hit that you have dealt to this creature.
Will be more significant if he moves.
If he moves, if Harvey's taunt works, this could be really good. This could be genuinely quite good. So that's your action. I know you're adjacent to 2 creatures, so the likelihood of you wanting to move is quite low, but do you want to use your movement?
Nope, I am staying right where I am.
That is very fair. And will that end your turn?
Command, regular action, no movement. Yep.
Alrighty. And thank you, Fen, for keeping me up to snuff on like commanding the civilians. I'm adding mechanics to these fights to make them interesting, and I haven't done that like in all of my time DMing for 5th edition, so I'm gonna forget like a lot, and it helps to have people that are like on top of that, going like, "Hey, Bell."
This is new to you?
Yeah. Well, not 5th edition itself. 5th edition is not new to me, but
No, I mean more so just the extra stuff.
yeah, the extra stuff. This
Let's
is
go.
this is stuff that I ad hoc'd up. All right, full confession. I made this combat yesterday.
Hey man,
It's great.
I finished work. I came home and I was like, I'm gonna make this combat, and then I made it, and then I made it. I already had the map ready, and then I was like, all right, this is what it'll be.
And I scuffed the hell out of that Lasheri's shins.
Yeah, well, Moggs. So you're swinging with your dagger right now?
I mean, yeah, we're calling it the. It is.
It's your wrench.
Functionally dagger, yes.
Okay, cool. You, Lumia, you're seeing Moggs fight with their wrench. It is like the size of them, and so the swinging of the wrench is very much so like you can see the momentum carry them through their swing. They kind of do a little spin pirouette. They bonk into the Lasheri shin, and you hear it kind of like, oh, like it makes this kind of like ah. So, it's your friends, the Skivardi. They're gonna make 2 more.
god dang it!
It's getting there, man. You know what, Caius? You are holding the gates. It's up to you, man.
This is fine. Oh my gosh, yeah, this is perfect. This is fine.
I figured you'd appreciate the positions they're in. T7.
He's like, yes, more rage fuel.
Boy. This is also a testament to how amazing barbarians are, especially at early levels, where they are really the only characters in the game that can endure this kind of punishment. All right, civilians are gonna go. I'm just gonna go ahead and say this guy goes. Woo! He's gone. He's out of there. He's good.
Oh, yeah,
he's so far away from this. There's no possible way he could be hurt. But these guys over here, really, they're the meat and potatoes of this. So we'll go ahead and I'm going to move this guy first, and I'm going to roll to determine whether or not he's going to try to run into the shop or try to run towards the tavern. Evens will be shop, odds will be tavern. He's going to try to run to the shop. So you watch, he moves 5, 10, 15. You see this guy drop his mug of ale and his banana on the ground, and he is going to start banging on this door, and he's going to go like, please open the door, we need help. And Lumia, roll a perception check for me to see if you can hear the response from inside.
Oh God. Okay. Woo!
Oh, but I'm so good at perception.
I know I'm bad at it. 12.
12's enough. You hear that from the interior there is a sort of like very brief argument that it's difficult to make out all the words to. You can hear the halfling individual, who you assume to be the halfling individual, effectively pleading to open the door, and then the merchant saying, "No, fuck off." So then this guy, this lady hears that and is going to go like, all right, fuck this, 5, 10, 15. This guy is going to trigger an opportunity attack on the
Oh.
Sherry.
Oh.
Come
Choose
on,
life.
man. Oh boy. Oh fuck. Oh. 3. He's alive.
He's okay.
He's okay.
Phew.
He's at
He's
1.
okay.
Oh my
He's-
god.
So like, there's no amount of alcohol that you can have that will shield you from the pain of what he just experienced. Like the little gash that he had on his back is now a full-fledged like 4-pronged claw mark, and he's like, oh my god, oh, I'm gonna have a story to tell the kids, and he starts limping away. And this guy disengaged, so he's fine. He's gonna move 5, 10. Cool. That's the civilians. Caius. There's 4 Scavardi in front of you.
There is.
You're at the gate.
There is.
You're still raging.
Yes.
Frankly, you are perfectly healthy. You've never felt better.
Yeah. Okay. So, I have a question.
Shoot, gamer. What do you got for me?
So, hang on. Let me pull up my sheet here. Right.
Matt,
Come on.
take your time. Don't be in a rush.
So, Caius isn't too like understanding of magic, but as a flame ganassi, he has something called Reach for the Blaze.
Yes. I would say you have an intrinsic understanding of how exactly that does operate. Let me go ahead and pull that up. So you choose whether you're using your intelligence, your wisdom, or your charisma as your spellcasting modifier when you choose the race.
Oh,
So-
wait.
What's your highest of those 3? You're a barbarian. It's probably going to be not
all of those are 0.
okay. Then pull one out of a hat. I'll let you
but
decide.
Cause hang on, let me see.
So Reach to the Blaze says that you know the Produce Flame cantrip. You get more stuff at later levels, but as of right now, Produce Flame is a cantrip that takes an action. A flickering flame appears in your hand. It remains there. It neither harms you nor your equipment. It sheds light. You can also attack with it, although doing so will end the spell. When you attack or as an action later on your turn, you can hurl it to a creature within 30 feet. You make a ranged spell attack, and on a hit, they take a d8 fire damage. Now, it's important to note you are proficient in this because this is, a thing that you've been able to do effectively since you were a kid. But you'll have +2 to the hit, whereas if you were to use your unarmed strikes, you will be having a +6.
See, now what I wanted to ask was if I could just use the Produce Flame to coat my hand in fire.
As badass as that would be, unfortunately, that's not how it works.
Fair enough.
You could attempt to push the flame into a creature. I'll let you make it as a melee spell attack roll, but that won't improve the bonus that you have.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is that you've never honed this skill of yours to be able to produce the flames, and realistically, it is just to light campfires and to produce light in places that are dark. That's what you've really probably used it for.
Fair enough. All righty then. I'm just gonna go ahead and do what I do best and put the pause to one of them.
Okay. So, real quick, do you want to try to close the gate more, or do you want to try and beat the shit out of these Scavardi? 'Cause
Well,
there's 4 of them now.
well, there is 4 of them now, but how much? So, how much did I repair the gate already?
2 out of 5 points of progression towards repairing the gate. Another success will get you to 4 out of 5. A natural 20 will close the gate.
Gotcha. I see the 2 guards next to me.
They look like they're startled of the Scavardi. You might have to verbally tell them to help you close the gate, or they're going to try to attack the Scavardi.
Gotcha. I'll do that after. You know what? I'm just gonna say leave the beast to me. You guys focus on closing the gate.
I would like you to make your choice of a persuasion or an intimidation check.
I'm gonna go intimidation because I am proficient in it.
Hell fucking yeah. Go ahead and roll that die for me. Because you're in this like bestial rate. You look scary, like straight up.
Yeah.
And so these 2 are looking at you. They're like, okay. Like, depending on the roll, of course.
And not only that, they still think it's my fault that this.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
100%. no matter what your bonus is, just the 17 on the die, as long as you don't have a negative bonus. These two see you, and you sort of turn to one of them, and you go like, "Close the gate! I have the Scavardi," and they're like, "Oh, all right, man. As long as you're sure." They're going to attempt to close the gate on their turns.
Gotcha. And I'm gonna try and attack this first one here on the right of me, and I'm gonna roll.
Sorry.
That's
35. That's a great way to indicate which one you're attacking because it tells me what you're trying to attack.
What was?
Ah, man.
Ooh.
You know what? This is where I burn my inspiration.
There you go. That's super fair. Oh man, hold on. Wait a second. Before you like hold the die. I'm gonna look up a roll real quick because there may be a feature that we're missing. No, that's second level. Never mind. Go ahead. Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
that's much better.
That's a hit.
That's +6. So
So there's going to be a D8 plus 4 into Scavardi 5.
if you roll +4.
Yeah,
Okay.
since you got both of your hands free.
Yep.
Or no, not plus a D4, just plus a flat 4.
Oh yeah.
If you roll a 7 or an 8, damn. So that's 7 damage into Scavardi 5. Let me go ahead and mark that. He is bloodied immediately. You have your fists up. Well, you're trained in the sense of like you've been in fights before, but you're not classically trained as like a pugilist or a monk or anything like that. Your fighting style is very like you don't guard really. You kind of just like walk up with your fists out your side and then just like.
It's very like, it's almost animalistic and primal.
Yeah, you are kind of like as you've been walking up to this gate, you kind of like crack your neck, you prep your fist, your right fist. You walk up to this thing, you pull the gate up. These things lash out at you, and then you kind of like dust your hands off from pulling up the gate, and from like wiping your hands on. Well, you don't have a shirt. From wiping your hands on your pants, you take your right hand, and as fast as lightning, poof, there is a bit of like the cold snow air that you guys actually watch. Literally, like shockwave is pushed like out to the other side of this creature's head as this fist impacts its side. Still standing, but very hurt.
Gotcha.
Is that your turn? You can technically move. The only move you can make without triggering any opportunity attacks is this one.
Is going forward into
Is going forwards to all of them. So
nah, he's not gonna do that.
Okay, that's very fair.
Cool. Let me see. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Alrighty, so you have attacked. That means that your rage cannot end on your next turn. So it is now the guards' turn. There are many guards that are doing many different things. I'm going to go ahead and do the 2 guards that are adjacent to the rubble now. We're just going to see if they manage to succeed. Success or failure, they are going to contribute to it. We'll do this guy first. He just had a really humiliating experience. His crossbow exploded in his hand. He fell off of the ramparts. He's not doing too hot. They have a 50-50 shot of succeeding. They need to roll an 11 on the die. 11 or higher will succeed.
Let's go.
Oh.
So
what are these?
So here's the deal. That's a failure, which only contributes 1 progress, which now means if the other guy succeeds, then it's done.
Nice. Come on, man. You gotta.
Give me all your good luck, guys.
You're not good at fighting, but you can fix a gate.
You can fix a gate, man. Oh my god, that was a roller coaster. You saw the 20 and then the 2?
Oh my god, holy shit.
The gate is successfully mended. Give me a moment to go ahead
Woohoo!
and like mock up a
Let's go.
sort of like
Aw, Minecraft.
Minecraft. These 2 Scavardi are going to be stuck in this wall if I don't move them. I'm just going to go ahead and like, scoot them out a little bit. We'll say that they have to use 5 feet of their movement to do that on the next turn. But then the guards, having used their actions to do this, are actually going to try and like... They don't really have anything else that they can do unless their captain commands them to.
I was about to say, what would they not just move? Like the guy with the crossbow, would he not move away without the crossbow?
He drops his crossbow. They both technically had crossbows, but at this stage, this guy's crossbow has exploded, and this guy's is on the ground behind him. So they have their weapons drawn. I'm gonna go ahead and say they're gonna move up. They're gonna try and help.
Okay,
move
cool.
5 feet up, 5 feet up.
He's a brave one.
Also important for Harvey because it opens up the number of targets he can sneak attack. Now we'll go ahead and do these guards over here. First off, guard captain's going to turn to this thing and is going to take a swing at it. Unfortunately, his armor class and his hit points are really, really high, but his bonus to hit is actually not really that high. Yeah, so you see that he swings wide with his flail. Looks like as strong as he is, even he struggles with this thing, and he kind of like looks at it with this disgruntled expression, that you can't see because he has a helmet on. But he looks down at it. Harvey, you can hear him go like, ugh. He drops it on the ground and pulls out a longsword. He is then going to move 5 feet this way, and I'm going to check to see if he's within 30 feet, because if he's not, I think he's going to brave it. Yeah, he's going to trigger an opportunity attack from the Scavardi here. Ooh. Does manage to hit. Ooh. And is going to do 4 damage to him. He's not even phased. That's not even 1/10 of his health.
He's a healthy boy.
Wow.
He's fine. He's okay.
Captain Dick.
Yeah, he's got 45 health.
What?
This is a standard 5e NPC. This is a guard captain.
Fair.
So then he's going to move 5, 10, and I'm fairly certain that gets him in range of all of his dudes. Yeah, it does. You bet your ass. He's going to command, effectively, the command that he gives is like strike. So all of these guys are going to use their extra thing that they get to attack. These guards are going to move 5 feet here, 5, 10, 15, we'll say, and then 5 feet. They're going to make their swings on this thing by flanking it, which means they get an additional +2 bonus to their hit. This guy will use his attack first. So he's got +5 to hit.
Oh,
natural fucking 20.
You can't sit here and tell
Let's
these guys
go,
aren't
man.
These are the trained warriors of the group.
Yeah, you watch as they square up in flanking positions.
God.
The Scavardi is actively confused as to which direction it should be looking, and this guard right here skewers its spear square into its skull. It is fully dead. That is his like free attack that he gets. He still has his normal attack. He's going to drop his spear, pull out his crossbow, and fire at the Lasheri. He hits. God damn. For 6 damage into the Lasheri. Maybe these guards are special. I don't know.
Yeah.
Look here, man.
Built different.
20, 25,
They're
30.
sleepers. They're sleepers.
They're sleepers. This guard is going to attack once into the Lasheri with his crossbow, and unfortunately, he can't attack a second time with the crossbow because it has the loading feature, so he's going to chuck his spear at the Scavardi. We'll say he does the Scavardi first. He's going to... You see this guard, like Spartan style, sprinting forwards, and like, he throws his spear.
Olympic throwing a javelin.
I believe that is still a hit. Yes, it is. Go ahead and see what the damage is for the thrown version of it. So it is only a D6.
It has 1 health.
You're right, it does. It's super dead. And then he's going to hoist his crossbow at the Lasheri here. God damn, what the...
Let's go.
Hey, yo.
7!
Look, we are not the main characters here. We are not the main characters here.
You guys watch as these 2 guards that came in with their guard captain, maybe the captain gave him a good pep talk, I don't know. These 2 guards, they skewer one of these Scavardi like cleanly, fire up a crossbow bolt. The other one chucks its spear, finishes off the one Scavardi, hoists his crossbow from off of his belt. You Lumia hear this like into the back of this creature as it immediately is like it is struggling to stay, like it's bloody at this stage. And now we're gonna get to these 2 fucking schmucks that have not succeeded like at all.
I'm gonna need
ready
them
to
to
see
have
another one.
I'm gonna need them to have a little bit of inspiration from their captain and their friends over here.
I'll be square with you guys. If either of these guys roll another natural 1, I might just kill them. It's up to you guys. I'll let you decide if
They deserve it.
Guard 1 is gonna go ahead and attack Scavardi 7 here.
Redemption.
Holy fuck!
Oh!
Let's go.
That
You
was
saw
close.
that, right?
That was close.
That was real close. That's fucking ridiculous. Okay, man.
Okay,
Oh
there's
my
a-
god.
You don't need to be here if you don't want to be.
He
does.
said, I'm gonna hit it, but I don't want to.
I believe this guy has only done 2 damage the whole fight. Like any time he's attacked, he's done 2 damage.
Absolute
This
garbage.
guy is going to go ahead and attack Scavardi 8. Come on. Okay, that is a good hit.
Hey,
A D8 for
Okay.
Alright, there we go.
damage. Acceptable damage. He bloodies the Scavardi. You see that they're finally starting to get their act together, actually managing to deliver strikes and doing a relatively decent job.
They just needed to warm up. They were doing guard duty outside.
Yeah, they weren't doing too. They're cold hands. You know, that's how it be. Okay, so that is now the Scavardi's turn. There are a lot of them, but no more are coming into the gates. So the Scavardi that are in the gates right now are all you have to deal with. Just gonna be fully RuneScape combat here. They have no reason to want to go after anybody else. They think they have good food in front of them, so they're just gonna take their swings. This does mean that these 2 guards are in danger of dying, but maybe they deserve it. I don't know.
they did it to themselves.
We'll go ahead and roll the Scavardi 8 first, the one over here. That was almost a natural 20, but it's a 2. You actually do watch that this guard with his spear manages to just barely put his spear in between him and this creature's maw as it opens. He like pushes the haft of the spear in, and he's like, listen, large man, I understand that you might have caused this, but could you please help?
Ugh.
He's not being a nice guy. And this Scavardi over here is going to attack the other guard. I don't think that hits. The guards have an armor class of 16, so they're quite durable for what they have. So that is also a miss. But then these 2 Scavardi are going to try to attack you guys. So we'll roll them
Caius is
both.
really not caring about the 2 guards right now because they're like showing nothing but weakness.
Yeah, fully.
Oh.
Well, your opinion of these guards, probably the guard captain or the 2 guards back there, maybe, but these 2 guards up here,
Yeah, I'm much more interested in those guys.
what the fuck are they even doing up there? They both managed to hit you, so it's going to be a D4 halved. So 1, another D4 halved, 1. So you take 2 damage.
Wow.
Hey
Okay.
guys, if
Must
you
be
ever want to
nice.
play, a Dungeons and Dragons character, and you've never played a Dungeons and Dragons character before, I strongly recommend a barbarian. If anyone is watching this VOD in the future, I strongly recommend a fucking barbarian, guys. They're really good.
That my health is still fine.
Your
I still
temp
have
health
the
is still
two-
there. Yeah,
I
you
still
haven't
have
even
1.
lost your temp health. So to be like fully straight with you, these monsters originally did a D6 plus 1 damage. I scaled it down to a flat D4 because otherwise that would walk up to the weaker members of your party and instantly kill them.
1 tapped him. Oh my god.
It almost did that to Lumia.
Yeah, Jesus.
Sorry, my wife is like doing something in a closet. It's causing echoes through the house. That is all of the Scavardi's turns. They don't move. So
Nice. Like
It's-
like you're just seeing little like scratches and stuff upon.
yeah, it's you're a
Yes.
fucking Dragon Ball Z character, man. There's no shot that these things are gonna hurt you. The Lasheri is gonna make its roll. I'm gonna say, just like I did before, it's going to roll a flat D20. If it is a 16 or higher, it will go after Lumia.
What
Straight
about
up.
the taunt that Harvey did?
Yes, no, that's why. If it is a 16
Oh, okay.
to 20, it's going to go after Lumia. If it is a 15 or lower, it is going to try to barrel through this guard to get to Harvey.
God.
Somehow understanding what Harvey's physical fuck you actually meant. Let's see. The
Jesus.
Game, the
I am
game
sworn to
hates-
carry your burdens.
The game hates Jinxie for some godforsaken reason.
Hey yo, that was straight out of
Oh.
Skyrim, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm Lydia.
Here.
Help!
I'm gonna hit you with another one because I'm not a fucking cruel DM and I don't just want to kill Lumia for some fucking reason. I'm gonna roll another d20. If it is evens, it'll go after Lumia. If it is odds, it'll go after Mogs. Is that okay with you, Fen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, this is
It wants Lumia so bad.
Okay.
What did you do?
Right.
what did you
Oh
do
my
to this
God.
thing?
It's
you
cool.
you must have heard this thing in a past life.
Life wasn't
um,
that fun anyway.
It is. I'll be straight with you. It's gonna take its first attack at you, and if it, we'll
gonna
determine.
miss.
We'll determine what it does after its first attack. It actually does have a higher than average chance of missing. Your AC is 18, right?
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and pull up the specific attack bonus of this thing. It is +5, which means it needs to roll a 13 or higher in order to hit you. That is a 60% chance to miss. Okay, well, it at least wasn't a 20. It does hit as normal, which is going to be a d6 damage for
Oh,
5, reducing it
great.
to 3 health. It's going to make its second swing at Moggs because this is mean. Straight up,
Thanks.
this is fucked. It's gonna attack Moggs.
Oh,
What the heck? Okay, what's your AC, Moggs?
18.
8. Okay, so that's gonna be a d6 against Moggs.
100.
8,000,000. It reduces Moggs to 2 health. That's
my God.
5 flat damage to Moggs. So the party, aside from Harvey and and Caius, who are fine, Moggs and Lumia, you guys are roughed up. You're not doing too good. This Lasheri is very clearly also not doing too hot. The civilians are mostly out of the way. You can presumably assume that they'll probably get out of the way here soon. As long as Caius and the guard captain and the other 2 guards can deal with the threats over here, you should presumably have 2 guards coming to help you soon. So it's really just damage control at this point. I'm going to roll a d20 to see if this thing still wants to sprint after Harvey after making its attacks, because I want the booming blade to go off, and also 2 opportunity attacks is cool. And I fucking this d20 has been the meanest fucking thing. Yeah, it goes after Harvey. Lumia, would you like to make an opportunity attack?
Sure.
Go ahead and roll an attack for me. So this is going to be, I believe it is your strength modifier. So you don't roll.
That
oh,
wasn't
right.
me.
It rolled, that's
sorry.
that's
Booming.
you're right. Let me mark that on its health. So whatever your strength modifier and your proficiency modifier are what you're going to be adding to the d20 to try and hit this
Okay.
thing.
So it's 3 that I would be adding.
Okay, so a total of +3 to try and hit it. It has an AC of 14. So the swing goes wide. You're not really doing too hot right now, so probably as a consequence of the fact that you're in pain. You take your staff and you go to make this swing, but as you do, you kind of stumble under the weight of the leg that perhaps was just injured, and the swing goes wide. It takes another 5-foot step. It attempts to move out of Moggs' range. Would Moggs like to make an opportunity attack?
Yes.
Hell yes. What's the total?
12.
12. Okay, so that's a miss. Moggs as well, also somewhat recently injured by this thing. Not doing too hot. Both of you guys' swings kind of go wide. You share a look of understanding between the 2 of you as it walks past. Let's see if Chad McFuckster manages to do some damage.
You know, these guys have been the main characters so far. I promise you.
He threw his spear at the other Scavardi, which unfortunately means he has to make an unarmed attack. Which he misses. So he, not realizing that this thing was about to barrel past him, doesn't have a spear in his hands and is caught unawares as it sprints past. It is going to move. How far has this been? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, I believe. Yeah, so that's going to end its movement right there. Harvey.
That is a little too close for my liking.
It's
Thing is on its way to you.
Yeah, I don't know what I did.
It is barreling towards you. It's in fact, actually, I forgot it does have its 20-foot movement speed thing that it can do to try and knock somebody over. So it's going to try and knock this guard over. It's not an action that it has to do or anything.
How far away is this?
Yeah, the guard falls over.
Oh no.
Probably be
Oh no.
fine. He'll probably be fine. He's the main character.
Okay, so I would like to hit him with my bow.
Okay. You can totally do that.
But this area right here. Right here.
Yeah.
Can I take the ball bearings out of my bag
Yeah.
and scatter them on the ground?
Yes, you absolutely can.
Okay, I would
I'm
like
going
to
to go
do
ahead
that.
and pull up the ball bearings just so that way everybody is aware. I'll say that you have a bag of ball bearings, obviously, but also Moggs has this bag of ball bearings. You're using it for Magic Pebble. As an action, so I will be straight up with you, this will take your full action to do this.
Okay. Worth it.
As long as you're okay with that. You can spill these tiny metal balls from their pouch to cover a level square area that is 10 feet on one side. A creature moving across the area has to make a DC 10 dexterity saving throw or fall prone. Or it can move through the area at half speed to avoid making the saving throw.
Okay, I'd
So
like
it can only be 10 feet on one side, which as a consequence...
So a
means that it would
5-foot
be-
radius.
Yeah, basically. So you're going to cover 4 squares with it.
Okay.
Do you want to just cover these 4 right here?
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and pull something up that we can mark that with. This is going to be a little weird, but I'm just going to go ahead and put these 4 things there to just mark it.
Okay.
That works. Yeah.
So that'll be you. You guys watch as Harvey takes out a bag, and I'll say you don't destroy the bag to throw the ball bearings out, but there's a point in time where you're considering just cutting the bottom of the other bag, just let them spill out completely. You undo the hamstring rope that's on it, and the ball bearings scatter out onto the ground.
Perfect.
You know what? I'm not going to be a stickler. You can do that as a bonus action. You still
you
have your
sure?
action. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, well then I want to shoot the
Shoot this
Lasheri.
Lasheri?
Yeah.
Hell yes. Go
Do
ahead
I
and
get
make
sneak attack, or is that guy
because
too far away?
Well, the guard is adjacent to him, so yeah, you totally get sneak attack.
Okay.
Don't worry, I got you. I've been positioning the Lasheri almost purposefully to give you sneak attack and to give Moggs pack tactics as well. Your bonus is +5, right?
Yes. So
That is a hit. That is 2d6 plus 3 damage. Come on, baby. What do we got? Oh, fuck. I mean, the hot
Maybe
streak of
6?
high rolls had to end something.
Yeah.
But
I'll take
I'll-
a 6.
I'll go ahead and give you guys this now. This thing is at 1/4 of its maximum health now.
I don't want to do this.
Which is how much?
Pew, 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 pew.
A fucking laser beam comes out of
Yeah.
Harvey.
Fuck you, buddy.
Would you like to move at all?
No.
Okay, that is going to end Harvey's turn. That brings us to Lumia. Hey, Lumia, how you doing?
I'm pissed. I lift
I'm
my
so
hand,
sorry.
pointing a finger in hot condemnation at the Lasheri, and a bright light like a comet streaks through the sky, barreling toward him. I cast Guiding Bolt.
Guiding Bolt! God, I was waiting for this. Okay, Guiding Bolt is a fucking amazing spell and could potentially outright kill this thing. Please, for the love of God, do you have your inspiration point left?
I do.
Okay, roll your attack.
Oh, Lordy, Lordy.
Hee. Wait, let me look back and see. I can't remember which one this rolled with before. Oh, God.
This is your spell attack bonus,
Oh.
which will
it's
be your
not
charisma
that
plus your proficiency. So
bonus.
as far as I'm aware, it's +6.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
And it's
so
a
roll
D-
d20,
Okay.
add 6. You need an 8 or higher on the die.
Please, God. Oh, I just threw that around the world.
It disappears.
I
All right.
know
You
you're
have-
fucking lying.
You have an inspiration point. You can use it here if you would like.
I'm gonna use it because I'm sick of this entire battle
Fucking
trying to destroy me.
ridiculous. I don't understand why it's out to get you right now.
Are you shitting me,
Are
dude?
you fucking kidding me?
I don't understand.
Oh my god.
The 0 fell off of your die.
You know what? God. I mean, that's just how a cookie crumbles
Yo,
sometimes.
hey, yo, did you swap out dice or something? DM?
Yeah, I gave you guys the loaded dice.
I
but
feel
only,
cursed.
No, I only gave Jinxie the loaded dice. And anything attacking Jinxie. Jesus Christ.
What's? Oh my gosh.
Hey, I mean, look, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. When you want to roll a natural 20, sometimes you're going to roll a 1 and then a 2 somehow. That's really rough. You send out your guiding bolt. This bright mote of passionately burning energy. You are furious at the fact that realistically the only thing you have done this entire combat is stem your fucking bleeding. And this thing is finally fucked off and gone somewhere else, and so you're like, all right, I'll teach you to turn your back to me. You throw out this mode of energy. At the last possible second, you watch the mode of energy just kind of just fizzle out before it reaches the creature.
I fall to my knees and crumple in defeat. I end my turn.
I wholeheartedly believe that the civilians are only alive because of Luma.
100%. One or more of them would have been fully dead were it not for Lumia. So you have at least got that to attribute yourself to. Mugs, it's your turn. You watch your boss fucking fall to her knees as you saw. To Moggs' eyes, maybe this was the fucking light cantrip that she was casting, and you're like, why would you want to do that? That doesn't make any sense. It's your turn.
Okay, so Mog's gonna switch from her wrench to magic stone.
Okay, so a free object interaction, stow the wrench, draw the 3 stones. You have at least one of them in your hand right now.
Yep, and I will give that a throw at the. Okay, so that is plus.
Let me take
6.
a look. The pack tactics rules, does it specify that you also have to be adjacent to the creature, or is it just if one of your allies? So you do have advantage on that.
No, I don't.
Oh, you're in sunlight. You're right. I'm dumb. Cool. So that's definitely ahead.
Yep. So that will do.
Where's that dice?
8 damage.
8 damage. All right, that is a beautiful strike.
Huge.
Another one of those, and this thing will be dead. So that is your action. Would you like to take your movement or anything of that nature?
I will. I'll command Sleepy to keep moving.
Okay. He's going to move 5, 10, 15 right now. Also, Lumia, I'll just assume that you did that to one of these guys. They're going to move 5, 10, 15.
And 20, 30.
Cool beans. Will that end your turn there?
I guess I could technically just for shits and giggles, I'll refresh my magic stones.
Okay, cool. You grab another ball bearing from the bag to fill the 3 of them back up.
And
Cool
yeah.
beans. All right. So top of the initiative round. No more Scavardi show up because the gate has been closed. You have Caius and the guards to help to thank for that. Straight up, this fight would be a lot more impossible were it not for the fact that the gate is closed. The civilians, I will be honest, now with how the fight is going, these civilians are going to be safe. This one still keeps banging on the door. These ones sprint off into the safety of the tavern that is down this way. This one eventually does flee off in this direction, but I am going to remove the civilians from the initiative order because they are all safe.
Nice.
Very, very well done on the part of the civilians. I did plan this encounter with the intent of some of the civilians might die, and the fact that none of them did, genuinely pat yourselves on the back for that. The fight's not
Pat
over.
Lumia on the back.
Lumia on the fucking back. The civilians didn't die because of Lumia.
I had nothing
Nice.
to do with them. Oh,
Caius, it is now as far as you're concerned, a free-for-all here. You have 4 monsters that you can beat the shit out of.
Punch a guard.
I want you
If
to
you
know.
roll well enough on one of these Scavardi, one of them's gonna land on a guard and knock him unconscious.
I want you to know, the stomping of the beast behind him is getting his attention, but he's not going to do it.
Yeah, I definitely imagine he's like, oh man, but I want to fight that guy so
He
bad.
really does, but I'm going to continue on this one here.
Okay. Scavardi number 5, go ahead and give it a swing.
Where did I throw that?
That's a hit.
Okay.
That's definitely a hit against. This is number 5, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Roll your d8. Make sure to add 4 to it. It's 10 damage. Yeah, we'll go ahead and say that after your most recent, very sudden kind of cross that you gave to this thing, you give it a sort of a jabbing uppercut, followed immediately by what I can only describe as a reverse uppercut. So you go pop, and then into the top of its skull. This thing fully does a front flip and is dead. Like you, Harvey, you especially because you're within like line of. Well, actually, no. I'd say everybody but Lumia can see this. You watch as he hits this thing so hard that it does a full 360 flip in the air and then lands on the ground as a crumpled heap.
It lands on the other side of that gate.
Yeah. How the fuck the physics works with that? But yeah, 100%. It like just lands on the other side of the gate. So that's your action. You
Damn.
do have your movement still.
Oh man. The temptation to go after the big guy is there.
I mean, the guard captain's coming to help his friends, but I will be honest again. The sort of like commendations that you get as a consequence of this fight are directly proportionate to the number of things that survive. So if the guards all survive and the civilians all survive, you bet your ass that old Bell, the dungeon master here, is going to give you guys a pretty penny for it.
But would Caius know that?
Nope. Caius doesn't have a fucking
Exactly.
clue.
So,
They could probably handle it.
oh man. And like Caius really doesn't care for the weak. I promise you, he doesn't care about these guards up here.
If you want, you could do the same thing that I normally do and roll a d20 and just like
Yeah, I was
give it
gonna
an
roll for
arbitrary
it.
thing. Yeah, go ahead. Maybe like, do you think it's like a 50-50 shot he goes after it?
50-50 he would, yes.
So 11 or higher, we'll say you go after it. 10 or lower, you stay here. Would that be alright?
That's fine.
Have at it, gamer. You're going after that thing.
God,
You
oh,
gotta
shit.
do it. The Scavardi next to you is gonna get an opportunity attack. Is that okay?
That's fine.
They do fucking like 1 damage. What am I saying?
So
He
16,
hits you
yep.
for 2. Oh my god, he's dangerous.
oh my god. no
That actually
way.
gets through your 10 hit points and does
Ye-
1
ye-
damage to you.
Yep. So I have no more of that. Hang on, get rid of that. Go away. I can just backswing. No, I can't. Apparently.
I'll take care of it. I'll
Let's
take care of
escape.
Yeah, that's fine.
it. Alrighty, so you're at 11 out of 14.
All right.
Oh
And
no.
Let me. How far is that?
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 will get you directly adjacent to the creature. And
Oh,
you have
nice.
45 feet of movement through there now, so... yeah, you get straight up to it. And I believe that is your turn.
He's so excited right now. He's like,
Okay.
you
Alright.
can see like this just animalistic grin on his face as he approaches.
So the guard captain is going to give the command to all of his guards to strike, except for the one that's on the ground. He's going to tell that one to stand the fuck up.
I forgot to give the flavor for how Magic Stone works.
Oh, yeah, would you like to give that? Because you did do a pretty significant chunk of damage with it.
Because so Mog's he's pulling just pebbles out of his out of her little stash, and when she throws it, she's not a good thrower. Like she's like awkward as hell, and you see the stone go off in the complete opposite direction, basically, like completely off to the side, and then the stone arcs back into the beast.
That's pretty. Would you say that it's like a gradual sort of like you go and then it goes like and then like lands it, or would you say it's much more of like mid arc? It like gunfire like goes.
Bro, it's just like
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's. It is clearly magical in some capacity. So, the guard captain commands all of his guards. They're all going to attack. This guy's going to move first before he does. He's going to grab his spear out of the Scavardi, and then he's going to move 5. He's going to move here so that way he can be flanking with the other guard. These two have 3 total attacks that they are going to send into the Lasheri. They have the +2 flanking bonus.
Oh,
The
man.
likelihood of the Lasheri surviving this is quite low, but you never know. That is a hit, and a hit. It's going to be 3d8
Oh my
plus
God.
3 damage to this thing.
This thing is.
They've pin cushion it. The Lasheri is fully just it's dead. It's there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You, especially you, Caius, being directly adjacent to it, you perhaps are assisting in trying to distract this thing, like pulling up, maybe not even intentionally. You're pulling up on it, sort of like whipping out your fists, preparing to land blast this thing, and you watch a spear come through the backside of it all the way through. It is like the guard on the other side is fist deep in the creature with its spear as of right now. And you watch as finally it goes like
Caius is like impressed but disappointed.
disappointed for sure.
He's
Um,
very like in between feeling.
The
like,
guard captain is going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, and he's going to take his. These 3 guards are all going to take their attacks into the Scavardi here. So guard number 2 into Scavardi 8. Okay, man. That's fine. He's going to make
Electric chair.
his second free attack as a consequence of the guard captain. That one does hit as weird. Actually, no, I don't think it does. Scavardi AC 12, and he has +3. All right, cool. Whatever. Fuck you, man. And then this guy's gonna go into Scavardi.
Come
number
on,
7.
redeem yourself.
So
Oh.
that is a hit.
That is a hit.
Goodness.
Number 7, which does okay.
This dude
Oh.
has
What is with him rolling
He-
2 damage
This man has consecutively rolled a 1 in some
every
shape,
time?
form, or fashion.
Holy
Spits
shit.
at him.
He's a Scavardi in armor.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a Scavardi enthusiast. Okay,
Oh.
all right, finally, he kills a Scavardi. He does it. He does the thing.
He was warming up. Jeez.
5, 10, or actually 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. He's going to move here. And then the guard captain is going to try to lamb blast. Scavardi 8 or 6. We'll go ahead and see that he's going to go ahead and go for 8 because that one's already injured. Yeah, he hits, and you watch as he takes his longsword and very cleanly just decapitates the Scavardi. An upper swing that he sort of gives immediately manages to like sing, and you hear the sort of like the squelch of the head hitting the ground. That is going to end the guard's turn. It's
Oh,
the Scavardi's
man.
turn. There's 1 remaining. I'll be straight with you. I'm going to end the combat here. The Scavardi is overwhelmed by 2 guards and the guard captain. It is stabbed to death. Congratulations, everyone.
Holy shit. dude.
Holy shit, that was an amazing first combat. You guys did great. The guards start to, take stock of the things that have happened here. They see that the 4 of you have been helping them with the combat. One of the guards that's adjacent to you right now, Caius, sees that you're kind of like... I'm sorry, for whatever reason, my fucking OBS just changed scenes, and now there's a smaller version of the same scene in the bottom right. I don't know why. Anyways, that was weird. The guard captain, you can see the heat of his breath coming through the sort of holes on his helmet as he is taking stock of things. He puts a hand on one of the guard's shoulders, kind of like squeezes him, and is like, "Go get some rest. You deserve it." He starts to walk up towards you, Caius, and you guys all have a moment in the silence of this battle, of the after effects of this battle, to sort of like breathe. And you see that the guard captain sort of like takes off his helmet. You see a salt and pepper haired sort of a relatively well groomed beard with slick back hair on the top. Nearing middle age man. He looks like he's a half elf. You can see some pointed ears. He's got these stark, clear ice blue eyes as he looks towards Caius, Lumia, Harvey, and Muggs. And you see that he has this very stern expression on his face as he's ensuring that there's nothing else that is about to attack them. He looks back towards the gate that Caius and the guards put up, and then kind of like, "Oh, thank you for your assistance today. Seriously, were it not for the 4 of you, I'm not certain that we would have succeeded here. You deserve a reward for your efforts. How about we start by cleaning up this riffraff, and then getting you all some free meals at the tavern. Does that sound good for a start? And then we'll discuss the proper reward that you deserve."
As the battle ends, Caius is just like coming out of his rage, and his clothes and everything are still like gone for a moment.
You like walk up to your the shirt that you tossed to the side, put it back on, and then use the action to like.
Exactly.
You guys watch as Caius puts on what effectively looks like a jacket or cloak or shirt or something, and it fully repairs itself as it is placed onto his. You get the sense that this is super helpful for him.
Yeah, I've
Mog
been
goes
here
back
before.
over to Lumia and tugs on her. Boss.
Free stuff.
Just leave me here to die.
Yeah, we're gonna come out of the initiative order here.
Do we do taxes now?
I'm gonna pick up my ball bearings.
Okay, it straight up takes you the better part of 5 actual minutes to pick them up. These guards come over to help you. They kind of like look up at you. They have a very, very brief moment of like small talk with you, and they're like, "Thank you, by the way. You're quite a good shot with that short bow. I appreciate you. These are a lot of ball bearings."
I was
You-
anticipating a big guy coming through.
That's fair. That's very fair, I suppose. You collect all the ball bearings. We're gonna say that you collect 90% of the ball bearings. There's still like
That's
a
fair.
couple in the cracks that you can't really grab.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's not gonna have any mechanical impact.
I want to pick him out of the crack with my beak,
Sure, like
like a chicken. Yeah.
hell, fucking yeah. You see as this fight is being wrapped up, you guys, those of you who want to simply take breaks, absolutely can. You actually see that the guard captain sort of like walks up to you, Caius, and doesn't place hands on you or anything like that. It looks like for a moment he wanted to put a hand on your shoulder, but then sees that your hair might be made of fire, and he's not sure about it anymore. And so he looks at you as you're looking down at the beast that you, the Lashari that you managed to slay together, and he goes like, "Well, as a consequence of the fact that all of us managed to fell this beast, I suppose that you're entitled to a share of the wealth of the creature's of the creature itself, its claws, its teeth, its skin, its fur.
What?
Why don't we go ahead and bind it together for now, and we'll divvy it up later. We can decide who gets what later. The town, of course, could definitely use a little bit of additional furs and stuff of that nature, but I imagine that
What do you mean, divvy?
presumably, he sort of pauses for a moment. He goes, "Oh, well, you are road wardens, are you not?"
What?
Sort of like pauses, looks to see that you don't have an insignia on your lapel or shoulder or anything like that, and goes, "Oh, that's quite strange, actually. We haven't had adventurers up this way for some time. I'll explain more over over fire. Why don't we get some food? I haven't eaten today. I'm quite hungry." He sort of like sheathes his longsword, picks up the flail that he dropped off the ground, puts it on his belt. Sees that Lumia and Moggs are genuinely quite injured. Walks up to the two of you and uses lay on hands to heal you guys for 5 health apiece. He is a paladin.
As I
Awesome.
approached the fallen beast, I cast detect magic.
Detect magic. Okay, so that is a phenomenal idea of casting detect magic on this thing. It is magical. There is a small mote of magic on the interior of the creature.
Is it familiar?
Very much so. Much less than what you had. It is significantly weaker, but it does have one on its interior.
Caius is like kind of like very confused at what's happening right now with like detect magic, lay on hands, and seeing these things happen.
Yeah.
So
we'll go ahead and say if there's anything that you guys want to do while you're out here, you absolutely can. If that isn't the case, then we'll go ahead and cut the interior of the tavern. Is there anything any of you guys would like to do while you're here? Lumia, I will say that as this guy sort of approaches you, he looks at you for a moment. He's like, "Would you mind if I tried to patch your wounds up for just a moment?"
Sure, that's fine. Thank you.
Places a hand on your shoulder, relatively gingerly. Strangely, he does have a gauntleted hand, so he's got the leathers and the straps and stuff of that nature. He places his hand on your shoulder, the crinkling of his armor sort of like sounding in your ear. You feel much better after he does that. It's not like it's a different type of healing than yours. It is very much so just like your adrenal glands have just triggered, and you feel like your fight or flight didn't trigger, but it's like you just had some caffeine. You're like, wow, I feel much better. And likewise for you as well, Moggs. You're both healed by 5 health. So Lumia, you are at 8. Moggs, you are at 7.
It's a relief. It's nice to not always have to heal myself.
He chuckles. He's like, "Yes, it is. It is very lovely to not have to heal yourself, and I'm glad that I didn't take too much of a beating here."
Am I able to get at the magic discreetly?
Discreetly, absolutely not. There's enough people here to where no amount of success on a stealth check will prevent you from being discovered here, or even sleight of hand.
Can I do it quickly?
You can do it quickly. You can do it overtly and quickly.
I just start doing it.
Yeah, you
I-
you Moggs jumps onto the stomach of this creature and starts to carve a hole into its chest. You see the guard captain go like, "Oh my god!"
I look up in
Caius-
horror.
They don't stop you. But
Caius
the-
is immediately upset because from where he's from, whoever kills the beast gets claim to it.
Oh,
and
this guy
and-
killed it.
Yeah, the two guards jointly were the two that technically succeeded in the kill, and they're the two that you kind of like were developing a respect for over the course of the combat.
Exactly. So saying this is like very like disrespectful.
But Moggs, very quickly, without the need for, you know what, I will go ahead and say, make your choice of medicine, survival, or animal handlings check. They'll all have the same effect. It's just trying to get to the interior of the creature successful. Okay, yeah, you do it.
25 do it?
Yes. You guys watch as Moggs takes, we're gonna say it's just like a inexplicably sharp end of your wrench and rips open a hole in the creature. You open its rib cage and you see that there is a small, very, I mean, it's surrounded by blood and gore, but it is a very small, much smaller than you had before, moat of magical orb.
Muggs immediately yells dibs.
you hoist it out. You're like, dibs, this is mine. You see the guard captain go like, all right, I suppose we could start divvying it now if you'd like. If you would like to have that small trinket, we're absolutely amenable to give it to you, my small friend. He sort of like looks to you for a moment, Caius, and kind of squints. Make an insight check for me, Caius, on the guard captain.
Gotcha.
Ooh, beautiful. What's your bonus?
What is insight?
Wisdom.
Insight is a
Zero.
wisdom
It's
zero.
fine.
Okay. 16 is more than enough. The guard captain is regarding you with recognition. It seems like he knows where you're from, at least partially. He perhaps doesn't know the specific customs of your tribe, but he sort of looks towards you and he goes like, right. I feel like there is some explaining to do, and I assure you that as much as our customs may differ, we do have a method of divvying our kills. This is a lawfully obtained kill contributed to by all individuals who are currently present. Us guards and guard captains have, of course, forfeited our share of kills to the city and town at large, so we will not be claiming any as insofar as the town itself will. However, as your small friend there has done, you may lay claim to a piece of the beast before we take the remainder. So if you wish for any of its hide, furs, teeth, claws, eyeballs, God forbid, bones, you absolutely may lay claim to it now. He is speaking directly to you, Caius.
Ice is like folding his arms across his chest and like tilting his head to the side, like, this is no. I did not kill this beast. I did not slay this beast. None of it belongs to me.
He holds out his hands and he's like, if you would like to forfeit your share of the beast to another individuals, you absolutely may. It is not for me to say what you will do with your lawfully obtained kill in Arendipidus. But how about, while your smaller friend may have already laid claim to theirs, why don't we go ahead and grab a bite to eat? We'll discuss this.
I haven't seen that thing in a day of my life.
So do you guys want to come with the guard captain to get your rewards at the tavern?
Yes. Let's do it.
Yes.
Cool beans. So we're gonna cut back over to the like out of combat board
Okay.
because I don't have a tavern board for it.
What year is it in Arendipidus?
Fuck, dude, I don't know.
Can you just like
What
give
a
me a
question.
ballpark random number? It's for a meme.
It's for a meme. So
Oh my god.
it is
Partying like it's
the-
1999.
It's the Age of Discovery. I'm gonna go ahead and say that it's like it's around the year 400 in the Age of Discovery. We'll say like 412. How about that?
Fair.
8 years
ahead.
away from the big number.
I'm gonna go ahead and notate that.
Yeah, please notate it, and then like, can you just send that to me later? Because I need to remember it now.
Okay. AD stands for Age of Discovery.
Yeah, or you could go AOD if you want. That's up to you. Cool.
That's even cooler.
Cool. It's at this point you guys can disable creature snap to grid if you want to, but remember combat when it happens, you'll probably need to have it on again. The guard captain takes you to the tavern, and he orders a round of ale for each of you, and then pauses for a moment, turns to you, gets your orders for drink, making sure that he's not overstepping his boundaries, asks each of you what you would like. Moggs, do you have a preference for...
Moggs is completely in her own world, casting ritual casting identify on it.
Okay, cool.
Completely ignores him.
Does Caius have any preferred poison here?
Caius is like, kind of like, just taken aback by looking around at the tavern and everything. He's kind of like,
Yeah,
this
is
not
definitely not your wheelhouse.
It's really not. He's used to like campfire, like sitting, like no like actual type structures or anything.
Yeah, there were some structures that were, I would say, adjacent to, but nowhere near the sort of like, I'm not going to say craftsmanship, because you had very talented craftsmen where you're from, but it's a different type of craftsmanship. You would build things in trees, in beneath canopies. You would build things out of the husks of mountainsides, in over in felled trees, over rivers and things of that nature. Very naturalistic, and this is very much so like it is carved out of nature. It is not a natural thing. This is something you see like wood in ways you've never seen it before. Not never seen it, but you see wood in ways that are very strange and unfamiliar. That reminds you of the ship, ironically. That you were on. So you sort of take a seat. He turns to you. He's like, "I'll go ahead and I'll get the large one some rum. I feel like he could use it." And he sort of gestures to you, Harvey, like, "What's your poison?"
I look up from I'm in my notebook
Mhm.
writing, and I look up and I'm like, just water's cool, thanks.
All right. And gestures to you, Lumia, is like, "Would you like anything?"
A glass of wine if you have it.
Understood. He gets the drinks. He brings them over to the table, sort of passes them off to you guys, sits down. You immediately see he looks like has he retrieved it while you were on the way to the tower. He like took a stop in the guard tower and took a bag of what looked like coin, and he starts to divvy some coin out onto the table. He's counting it up. He's thinking to himself about like the roundabout equivalency of what ended up happening, and the he's doing mental like arithmetic right now, which those of you who would like to make an insight check on him to determine why he's doing mental gymnastics right now, absolutely can.
Caius would not. He's
Matt,
not. Caius would not, mainly because he's not used to getting any kind of reward for just doing what he normally does.
Okay, cool. He pulls out a full 100 gold pieces and slides each of you 25 pieces.
Damn.
You see the coin purse is fully empty, and he goes like, "Well, all right. As far as I'm aware, that's the going rate." He sort of like folds his hands in front of him, looks up at each of you.
What do you mean
says,
the going rate?
I called you road wardens earlier. Do any of you know what that means?
No.
Caius just takes a sips of his rum.
He nods. It tastes great. It genuinely, the rum that they have is it's not like sweet, but it's one of those things where it's like you sip it and you're like, "Gah!" Like it's the immediate reaction of like, holy shit, that's liquor. And then it has a very pleasant aftertaste. Like you could let that aftertaste linger for straight up 5 minutes and have a great time. It's like it strikes you as it's like a sipping rum, but if Caius doesn't care, yeah, I was gonna say Caius
loves
just down it
and tries to down it like immediately.
I'll be honest. Caius has the constitution required to just down that and then order another one. And the like balding man behind the bar is going to see that and go like, "Already on it." Or sorry, he hit the Russian accent. Didn't he? "Already on it. Don't worry." He pours another one, passes it over to you. The guard captain goes, "Listen, before you all arrived, perhaps an hour, maybe two beforehand,
a man stumbled into the gate. He had a message for us. Are you all aware of Swarvel, what many consider the capital of Erendipitus? For those of you who have any amount of information, especially Harvey, you're aware of Swarvel is what is considered the like international center of Erendipitus. It is a incredibly densely populated city in a place that is otherwise devoid of population. There are magnificent things to see in Swarvel. This is a land that's naturally like coated in magic, and as a consequence, similar to your home, Lumia, there are floating cliff faces and trees that rise all the way up into the clouds. It is truly a magnificent sight in Swarvel. But he sort of mentions the city with this grim expression on his face, and he sort of says, "Are any of you aware of what happened at Swarvel not but 2 weeks ago?"
No.
He sort of like squints for a moment. He goes, "It's a city of commerce and neutrality and peace. And 2 weeks ago, it was attacked by the monstrosities of Erendipitus." As he says this, it doesn't strike you as strange. Swarvel constantly comes under attack. It repels those attacks handily. But then he says, "Winged beasts are typically something that the city could handle, but this time was different. I don't know the details. He didn't have the energy to tell us and is currently sleeping in the guards' quarters, but a third of the city's interior was completely destroyed. People died, and those who didn't die in the destruction lost their homes and their livelihoods." He takes a breath, and then he sort of leans forwards, and he says, "I'm going to tell you what he told us when he arrived. The council decided to issue an update to the contractual decree to prospective road wardens. As many of you might or might not know, road wardens are an intergovernmental fighting force responsible for beating back the wilds and the monstrosities of Erendipitus." He lets that linger in the air, effectively having just said, "Your job is to fight monsters," and he looks directly at you, Caius.
Caius is like beaming. Like his eyes, you can see his eyes kind of like light up at the sound of it.
Each of you kind of gauge the guard captain as being a very insightful man that can kind of like, generally speaking, tell what someone's about just by looking at them. He kind of looks towards Moggs and sees that you're fully infatuated with the item that you have in your hands, but he also does kind of like reiterate what he said, is that you're responsible for beating back the monstrosities of Erendipitus, which as a consequence means that you will get a share and claim of everything you kill.
Interspersed through all of this, Mox has been occasionally like making weird grunting noises or like light, or occasionally just like randomly slamming it into the ground.
He'll sort of like look to Lumia for like confirmation of like, is that normal? Just wordlessly looking at you to see if that's if Moggs normally does that.
I roll
having
my
an
eyes and
iPad
give
kid.
him a nod.
He nods back. Looks to Harvey to sort of, Harvey, you're aware of the road warden. You've met a couple road wardens before. They're a lonely, hardy bunch. They're not paid particularly well, and they do a job that is incredibly dangerous.
But they stick together.
Most of the road wardens that you've seen they have been in groups of anywhere from 2 to 4 people. Some of them do run alone. Some of them are completely on their own. So he sort of like clears his throat and he says, "I have contracts. The man brought them from Swarvel. He is not among the refugees, but the refugees are coming. Road wardens are now, as a consequence of this update to the contractual decree, entitled to rewards ranging from 100 to 25,000 gold pieces for the successful slaying of monsters that the Council of Nations deems a threat to civilization or to outland society." He pauses and tries to gauge the expression of everybody here. 25,000 gold pieces is a metric fuck ton of money.
Yeah,
Like,
when
it
I
is-
hear that, my eyes look like dinner plates.
It's like a someone can live for the entirety of their life a wealthy lifestyle with 25,000 gold. And then he pauses and he goes, an additional reward of 5, literally 5, not 5,000. I understand it'd be easy to 5 gold to 15,000 gold pieces will be given to road wardens who offer the entirety or part of their slain monsters to council representatives. These numbers vary based on the perceived danger of the monster slain and the amount of the monster's body donated, respectively.
Why do they
As
want parts of the monsters?
he sort of like takes his mug of ale, takes a swig from it before he responds, sort of casts it out, and he's like, monster parts are incredibly valuable. There are claws, bones, and teeth that can be used to create armors and weapons. There are, in addition, furs and pelts and leathers that can be crafted from monster parts. The monsters of Erendipitus are incredibly hardy creatures that tend to create very potent weapons and armaments that people can use to defend themselves, and by donating them to the council, it allows them to create more of these special armaments that they can use to kill creatures. It's also a matter of providing proof. If you can't provide proof, then there's no reason for us to believe you or to give you one single iota of gold. So if you can't really bring us a piece of the monster to prove that you slayed it, then how are we supposed to believe you?
Can we bring a piece without selling the whole thing?
He nods. He says that would probably get you the 5 additional gold if you were to bring like a pinky finger or something of that nature. But if you were to bring, the head or the claw, maybe even the whole beast, it is 5 gold to 15,000 gold, which can take your ranging amount that you get from 105 at minimum to 40,000. And like 25,000 was already a lot. 40,000 is like a ludicrously high amount of a ridiculously large amount of money. He pauses and he goes, these numbers vary based on the perceived danger of the monster slain and the amount of the monster's body donated respectively, and as I'm sure you've noticed, you've pretty much completely emptied our personal coffers. He jingles the coin bag. You can hear like 3 coins left in it, and he goes, I cannot offer you the additional 5 gold for donating parts of the monster, unfortunately. So I strongly suggest that you take the monster parts that you intend to use. You'll get first claim to them. We do not mind here in Henst. He sort of holds up a hand and he's like, as much as it pains me to potentially lose anyone who's made a home for themselves here in Henst, this sort of pay is good. The danger is high, and we've already offered it to the civilians here in the case that they wish to train to become road wardens. If you're interested in signing on, we've got over 100 contracts and badges waiting. Refugees need homes. The city of Swarvel needs supplies. The road wardens are their best shot at protection.
The background behind him, you see Moggs like roll around like a cat with a cat toy.
Oh my god.
I'll say at this point, it has been the 10 minutes required for you to cast Identify. This is a monster core. The actual name of it, give me a second. I have an actual name for monster cores. They have a very specific name. What the fuck did I decide to call them? That's not it. Oh, I had it at the bottom. Okay. They're called an Exitum Navis, which strikes you. Do you know Draconic?
I believe yes.
Exitus Navis is Draconic for Monster Core.
Okay.
Draconic is the language of magic.
Does it have a second to know if there's any properties, if it uses attunement and charges and all that kind of stuff? Is there anything?
There is literally nothing about this thing that is special aside from the fact that it has magic coming from it. It could probably be used to craft something magical, like a +1 weapon.
Got it.
He sort of the guard captain sees that you've finished casting magic at the table where there's food and drink, and he sort of like nods, seeing that you are a spellcaster somehow, and sort of like seems to have a recognition. But he turns to the 4 of you and he's like, The four of you, full confession, made a wonderful team out there. May not have seemed like it to the four of you, of course, because you were acting independently, but were it not for your assistance, we almost certainly would have lost Hengst today. Would you like to become road wardens? I think you have the stuff.
Caius places down his cup and is like, yes, where? When?
He hoists up a contract from the rucksack that he has over his shoulders and tosses you a badge. The badge itself is it is a pair of axes that are crossed, and behind the axes are two tree lines that are to either side of a road that is leading into the distance infinitely. So it is effectively. I mean, realistically, if someone sees this for the first time, they're going to think you're like a lumberjack or something. But no, this is the symbol of the road wardens. The contract itself is fully written. I can read it out to you, or I can copy and paste it to you. Your choice. It's about a page.
About a page?
Yeah, a full
Okay.
page. I'll leave this up to everybody, actually, because he actually just passes out contracts to each of you in the case that you guys would want to. There's an ink and quill nearby if you wanted to, sign your mark or your name. He's like, you don't technically need to sign your name, but you need to sign your mark. Acknowledgements, all that other kind of stuff. You want to read the contract?
Can you send it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's too long for me to read.
Caius is looking at the ink and quill a little confused. He's only like any kind of writing he normally does is like normally carved.
Okay.
So.
Oh yeah.
This point, Mox has returned to the group and is basically doing tippy taps next to Lumia, just excitedly looking at the magical sphere.
Sit still.
There's the full contract, gamers.
Caius is not even reading it, but he is going to like attempt to make some kind of mark.
Make a sleight of hand check. Or performance, your choice.
Okay, let's see.
The idea of Caius. Please don't roll a natural one.
Watch it be a 20.
Oh my god.
Wow, dude.
What's your bonus to sleight of hand?
Bonus to sleight of hand would be +1, so it's a 16.
16. You, as best as you can, understanding that you normally have carved things, this is very unfamiliar to you, but you get a hold of it close enough, and you make the mark that you have made before for carvings that designate your name, which is perhaps in your native tongue not in common.
No.
So also, I did have to send this in 3 messages. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good.
The important ones, the important things to note here is you will be paid at a rate of 2 gold a day for your service, or 1 gold a day if you are at guild quarters. So basically, staying at guild quarters forfeits half of your day's wages because it is free to stay at guild quarters, which are indicated with the Road Warden's Guild insignia, which is the same as the badge that he's given to you. People can elect to be part of the Road Warden's Guild, and it basically gives them extra protections, tax write-offs, stuff of that nature, in exchange for housing road wardens.
Here goes those taxes.
There's some specific mentions of fines for if you're doing things that you're not supposed to be doing, as well as the rewards and stuff of that nature. And it does specifically say that any changes to this contract are the responsibility of the individual road warden to acquire and maintain informed of. So basically, if you're not informed of the contract, that's not their problem. It is your responsibility to stay informed of updates. He sort of leans forward and he's like, now Hengst is a independent city. Well, hardly a city, more like a hamlet, if I'm being completely honest with you. We're so far out into the boonies. But if you were to sign on to become road wardens, you wouldn't answer to anyone but the Council of Nations, which would include the Steward of Hengst, the stewards of all the other independent and Tabaton colonies, and all of the Karanak colonies down in the Southern Hemisphere.
What's the road warden?
He sort of looks to you and tilts his head. He goes, road wardens are intergovernmental militia, effectively. You fight monsters, and you carve them up, and you bring them back to us, and we give you money.
Do they have more of these?
Caius is like staring at Moggs. Like,
I'm gonna let
intent.
him. I'm gonna let him roll an Arcana check to determine what the fuck that thing is. Okay, he rolled high enough. He's not well versed in arcane magic, but he looks at it and he squints and he goes, to fully confess to you, small one, I've never seen anything like that before. You pulled that out of the creature, yes?
You can't have it.
Oh no! It is your share of the wealth for certain.
Oh, then yes.
Huh. He sort of tilts his head, looks to the rest of you. Have you ever seen anything like this come out of an erendipitant creature before?
Yeah.
Looks to you and goes, You have? Before?
And I lift my wrench up.
The rest of you
Kinda
see
point
there's
at
a larger version of the small thing they pulled out of the chest cavity of the monster.
I got this
Which, by the way, it is fully, like, it's snowing out there, so it's preserved well enough, but the creature is, like, tied up by ropes just in case some fucking how it's not dead. And it's just in the middle of town, because it's too heavy to move. He looks to you and he goes, Huh. That is very strange.
This one came from a real big one.
It looks larger. Absolutely.
I can't have it either.
All right. He sort of like holds his hands up defensively. He's like, I'm not going to take your things. It's
You'll have to
okay."
excuse her. She gets very protective over her shiny orbs.
I understand that, especially here in Erendipitus. It makes sense. Protecting one's valuables is an important thing to do. There are some ne'er-do-wells and scoundrels that do live here. As he says this, he kind of like, you know what? Anyone who wants to roll an insight check as to what he's implying from what he just said. Anybody who has any interest at all.
Moggs is doing a really bad job of like looking
Ooh.
inconspicuous at this moment.
I don't know where my dice went. I rolled a
that's
3, I guess.
Highest roll of 17.
No, I initially rolled a 13.
A
And I
13
didn't, and I
plus-
missed it.
Oh.
What's your bonus to insight, Harvey?
1.
So
No,
14.
0.
Okay.
It's just straight 13.
And then Caius, I assume yours is also straight 17.
Yeah, mine's straight 17.
Both of you do pick up on this. His eyes flicker over to Harvey for a moment. Simply by the way that you hold yourself, he has kind of gauged who you might be working for. And Caius, this paladin knows something about Harvey that you don't. And you're looking to the paladin, and you look back to Harvey, and you look back to the paladin, and it's you could choose to act on that knowledge that you just learned, or you could choose to just like fuck it, I don't care. But you do pick up on the fact that the paladin has figured something out about the Kenku sitting next to you.
Caius does turn to the paladin and is like, What? Why are you staring at my friend like this? We've shared a voyage together. What do you know? He's like very he's kind of abrasive.
He nods. He's like, your friend keeps dangerous company. And
Yeah, I'm right here.
he fully laughs. He's like, "You're right. You're absolutely right. Apologies. I did not mean any offense by this. It has been a while since our dear friend Buck. What was the old elf's name? Please remind me. Shit.
That's Torval. Then
Is it It's Torval, right? Fuck, I need to do better at this.
This is mumbling we're
It was
doing.
like Torvalin or something.
Tiravel, that's the one.
Tiravel.
It has been a while since Tiravel has seen anyone else from his order. Are you here to meet with him, by chance?
Yes, but he was dead when I got there.
There's a moment where the guard captain is gauging your expression to see if you're fucking with him. And he sort of like hears that and he goes, "What? Dead."
It was supposed to be our first meeting, and he was stabbed in the back. And then
Tiravel has been
I show
killed.
him I show him the drawing of the dagger.
Okay, I assume you've been sketching it.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. You show him the drawing of the dagger. Do you say anything else as you show him the drawing? Because otherwise you're just showing him a knife.
I ask him if does this look familiar?
He looks at it, squints for a moment. Let me go and see. I can't pick that up for some reason. Whatever. We'll roll another. He sees it and he sort of like shakes his head. Oh, that is a very ornate blade. What the? Is it? Did you draw it serrated intentionally?
No, that's how it was.
Ugh.
It's an assassin's dagger.
Is that? He sort of like squints. He presses his thumb and forefinger. He like squeezes the bridge of his nose, and he's like, "I have to take care of this. If Tiravel is dead, we have to open an investigation. Would you mind if I could you sketch another copy of the dagger, or is the dagger still there?"
Actually, this is the moment I've been waiting for, everybody. It is time for me to use my cool item that I brought into the campaign. It's the Illuminator's Tattoo.
Oh hell, fucking yeah!
It is a special needle that produces beautiful calligraphy, images.
Images of writing implements and the
yeah.
like. So to tune this item, you hold the needle to your skin. The tattoo will appear. Pressing the needle there throughout the attunement process. When it's complete, it turns into a tattoo which appears on your skin. With this tattoo on your skin, you can write with your fingertip as if it were an ink pen that never runs out of ink. That is fucking awesome. As an action, you can touch a piece of writing up to 1 page in length and speak a creature's name. The writing becomes invisible to every other creature, for everyone other than you and the named creature for the next 24 hours. That is fucking awesome, man. Holy shit. So will you be using your
I would like
scribing
to
ability to like sketch another one?
Yeah, just give him another one on the back of a contract with my finger.
Yeah, for sure. We'll go ahead and say like he's only passed you your contract. It's perfectly fine if you want to because
Or just like extra paper on the table or whatever.
yeah, you like sketch it on a napkin or something. You pass it over to him. He takes it and he's like, "Thank you." You came across his body when? Earlier today?
Just before the monster attacked.
He has like sized you up well enough. I'll be straight with you. He's been rolling passive insight checks behind the DM screen to determine whether or not he can tell if you're lying. He can tell that like you are as startled as he is by the fact that Tiravel is dead, and he does not suspect you. Which is a good thing because you came across the scene of the murder and then informed him of the murder, and the only person who supposedly had been there would be you, so you're like the first suspect. But he seems like he's on the up and up enough to like gauge your expression, see how you're holding yourself, see how you express this to him. You sketched out the dagger, which like would be a really weird thing for the murderer to do, to be like, yeah, this is the dagger that I used to kill him. He sort of nods to you and he's like, well, he looks at the table, looks out at the four of you. Who has signed the contract?
Caius has.
Caius,
I
all right.
have.
All right.
I
so
have
Caius and
not.
Harvey.
I have been diligently reading it.
Okay. Would you like, this is Belle, real world, would you like more time to read the contract?
No, that's just like an in-game sort of thing. Lumia would
cool.
not immediately just sign it.
Oh, 100%, definitely. Like don't just, but
So, I, as a player, was slow on the uptake, and I didn't want to interrupt the flow of things. But can I have done a check to make sure that he was telling the truth about not knowing about the cores?
yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and make an insight check.
That's 19.
19. He has no fucking clue. In fact, he's never seen a monster core before. You're starting to get the impression that monster cores are not normal, even though the two monsters that you've killed at this point have both had monster cores.
And none of the ones in defense had ever had them before, right?
No. The only two that you've ever seen are the one that barreled into your encampment and this one. In fact, I would like you to go ahead and make a history check for me.
History is. Do I have history? Oh, good. Go back. History is only a +1.
So 15 total.
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad. That's what you needed in order to succeed on this check. This creature that you slew today together bears a striking, like, the manner in which it was acting is strikingly similar to the other one.
Just kind of chaotic energy.
It is like I don't want to go too into detail on this, but this is Bell to the players. Do you guys know what the sort of like fighting of the bulls is in Spain?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you know how the again, I'm not going to get too graphic. Do you know what they effectively do to the bull to get it so pissed off?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the type of behavior that these beasts were having. Is like a raging bull, like something that is just so filled with a fire that it wants to kill the first thing it sees. That's what you gauge, Mox.
As far as the contract goes, Moggs wasn't paying attention during all the beginning of it, so she's kind of like looking to Lumia for guidance, but it was intrigued by the idea of potentially getting more monsters and more cores.
You see that the paladin recognizes you, sort of like exchanging glances with Lumia, and the fact that Lumia is reading the contract, and he sort of goes like, "I'll wait until you've made your decision."
I will elect to sign it somewhat reluctantly, simply because I am not familiar with the company here, but I do have my own reasons,
You're
so I
cutting
will
out.
take the chance.
We heard "I am not" and then nothing.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh no!
I'm so sorry.
I was just saying I will sign the contract reluctantly because I'm not super sure of the company here.
Oh fuck.
Oh no.
What is happening?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's I think this campaign hates Jinx.
Jesus.
I would agree.
What the like the roles were just genuinely as hostile to Lumia.
Holy
as
fuck!
possible.
It was so funny. I'm so sorry, Jinxie. You were just getting your ass beat.
Oh my gosh.
I know it's not. Saved a lot of people.
Genuinely, yeah. The civilians are only alive because of you. You wouldn't have gotten the full 100 gold had some of the civilians died. So, yeah. Also, I would like for everybody to add 25 gold to your inventories, as he did split it across each of you. He pushes 25 gold over to Moggs, 25 to Harvey, 25 to Caius, 25 to Lumia, and then he does stand down the rest of his ale, put it on the ground. On the ground, he puts it on the table, looks up to the rest of you, and he's like, "I unfortunately do need to investigate the corpse that is currently rotting in a home, presumably." Looks to Harvey for sort of confirmation that he's in his home, to which I assume Harvey nods. He goes, "If you need me, I will. I actually don't know where I'll be. I'll be investigating this. Please do take care. If there is what we suspect is a murderer in our small town, it'll be hard for him to hide." He sort of like nods to you, hoists his helmet back under his arm, and says, "Good day to you. If you catch me at the end of the day, I will be in the God's house." And then he leaves. He takes the contracts from each of you and gives each of you road warden badges. And just before he leaves, he's about to walk out the door. He turns to you and he says, "Oh, and as a note, road wardens don't tend to survive very well alone. You would do well to gather together." He sort of like indicates with a raised eyebrow at each of you and sort of goes, "You made a good team." And then he walks out the door.
Caius turns to Harvey and is like, "Looks like we're traveling together again."
It's nice to see
Right.
you again, Caius.
What's your name?
Harvey.
I don't, yeah, you know what? Because he never acts on the boat.
He
No, he
never
didn't.
asked.
He never acts on the boat.
You just remember Harvey as like what I imagine Caius would recall him as, the silly Birdman who almost passed out from hitting his head on a plank of wood.
His name was he was the feathered one to Harvey.
Yeah.
To Caius.
But as the four of you are sitting down for what would presumably be the beginnings of a potential partnership across multiple converging destinies, you all have this opportunity to sit and rest and eat and drink. The tab is being picked up by the guards of the town, so you can eat your fill and drink your fill without needing to worry. In fact, Lumia, as you're about ready to go up to like, I'll assume that you like left your room key here so you could get it later. You go up to the tavern keep. He actually like gives you the room key and gives you 8 copper back, and he says, "Captain decided to pick up the tab for you.
Nice. Thank you.
You've done us a great service. We wouldn't really be standing here. Or sorry, we wouldn't really be standing here if it weren't for your intervention. So we do appreciate that."
My pleasure.
And it is here where we are going to close out the first session.